Hey everybody, welcome. It's another fabulous episode of the Suzette Speaks show. I can't wait to get started. Sorry, y'all. We had a little technical difficulties, but we are pumping. We are ready for an interactive conversation. For those of you who are joining me on Facebook, welcome. To all those watching on YouTube, what's up to my YouTube people? If you don't know who I am and you just happened upon this stream, I'm Suzette Speaks. I'm a TV host, TV host, attorney, and YouTube host. That's where I was going with that. And I'm excited to have a special guest today to talk relationships. I find that you guys are so into what's going on in relationship world and how we can build them, how we can make sure they are healthy, how we can even establish them in the first place. And I have a special guest today who's going to talk with us about why she decided to get married. Are y'all ready? There's so much talk about marriage. There's so much talk about relationships. There's a lot of mystery as to why there are so many single Black women. Oh my goodness, if I hear that one more time, girl, you so beautiful, you so this, you so that. Why you single, girl? You know you got everything going on. Do I sound like a few of you, or are there any of you who can relate to me when it comes to understanding why you're single or why someone is single is so complex? But I think one of the parts of the conversation that I wanted to take up here is that there is a lot of misconception about marriage, a lot that is not said about marriage. I think people are confused as to why get married. I don't know if some of us are ready to be a husband or ready to be a wife. Are y'all ready? Uh-oh. You might have met your wife and husband, but you might not be ready for them. Oh my gosh. I have had a recent experience like this, and then it's just kind of confusing all at once. I had someone, as soon as I posted the topic, that was like, oh, women want to get married. Men don't want to get married anymore. I had people saying all kinds of things to me in my DM. Can't wait for this show. I hope it's not male bashing. Of course, it's not going to be male bashing. We're here to have productive conversation. So if you guys are brand new to this space, first of all, let me hit the welcome. This is the Suzette Speaks channel, and I am Suzette Speaks. As I said, I have a real life off of line where I practice law, and I also host TV and other media. And I have decided to bring my talents, take my talents to the YouTube streets where you're watching, or if you're watching on Facebook, what's up, to use my passion for self-illumination and bring conversations to this space that allow us to encourage, enlighten, and uplift. That's what this show is about. So if you like positive content, I've seen some people say, Suzette, you have the most wholesome channel on YouTube, but I'm not even trying to do that, y'all. I just want productive conversation. As I've said time and time again, I am not an expert in terms of knowing all the answers, like maybe only in law. Shout out to those who have been a client of mine or who've sent me a case in personal injury. I do practice personal injury law. So if you're ever injured, hello, shameless plug, especially in Florida, let me know. I just had someone refer a wonderful case to me recently. So yes, I still do practice law, and I'm trying to find time to stay active in YouTube because I like it and because I think I can make something bigger of it. And so we're doing that. We're on YouTube every Tuesday, here on Thursday, and every Saturday. So at least 3 times a week live. And I'll be posting clips of some past shows very soon. I think I'm going to chop up the show with me interviewing TLA, the lead attorney, next, because some of you guys watched it in its entirety. Others of you kind of came here because of him. But there were so many beautiful nuggets in the TLA show. I was like, yo, I think I'm going to give that up into or chop it up into little slices for the audience for you guys to enjoy this coming week. Shout out to Before the Billions. I see you in the chat. Welcome. Y'all drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're in the States, drop your city or your state. If you're watching from abroad, since I'm in South Florida, if you're watching from abroad, let me know. Big up yourself. I have a lot of viewers in the UK, Canada, South Africa, Jamaica, all over. So please let us know you're watching. This is what is so special about the YouTube space. We get to connect with people from all over the world, from the comfort of an office or a home or wherever, and we get to chat. I'm talking about real talk, yo. So this is water cooler on steroids. This is how ladies who are lunching or sipping the tea, I want to keep it as real as possible. And this fabulous guest I have today. We had a male perspective last Saturday. If you missed it, go back and watch Dating Advice from the Manosphere featuring Gaston's World. If you missed that show, Go back and watch it. Dating Advice from the Manosphere. It opened up the conversation for which we're kind of just taking the torch. I wouldn't even say piggybacking off of, because she's going to tell her own story. She's going to have her own take on dating and marriage. So we wanted to start the conversation. You guys know I'm no dating expert. Hello, single. Hello, no kids. Hello, still waiting to mingle. Hallelujah. But I'm interested, and I think I'm finally ready in my spirit to connect with someone and to be a blessing to them, hopefully, as they are a blessing to me. So in that regard, we wanted to enlighten and open up a larger conversation about what does it take to be married, and what is the decision process behind being married. Do you stumble into it? Did you find the soulmate? She's just one woman sharing her story, y'all. She wanted me to make clear she ain't speaking for everybody. She don't have all the answers. She just wants to share her specific experience. So if you can learn from it, great. If you disagree with it, that's cool too. But we're at least going to have the conversation. So I appreciate y'all. You know what to do. So many of you guys were waiting in the chat. Sorry about that. I am here now, ready and pumped to get this conversation started. These tend to be my most watched shows. I guess y'all like relationships. I guess y'all like coming here and speaking your mind when it comes to dating and when it comes to how to find that special someone. So today will be a treat. She's never been on camera before, y'all. She does her own show. Y'all go over to her channel. It's in the description. And she's mostly off camera. She gives reactions off camera. So she was like, Sue, I will cam up for you. So I felt special. I felt very, 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 very blessed to have her, and that she said yes. I talk about relationships on my channel. I do commentary mostly and reaction videos, but she has a story to tell, y'all. So I was like, woo, this is big. This is another fantastic content creator stepping out there, again, doing her thing on her channel, and now saying, Sue, I love the conversation. Can I be a part of it? So we're excited to have her. I've counted a privilege to have her. Like I say, everybody don't want to cam up. Everybody, try to move in anonymity around here. And it can be kind of daunting. But it's beautiful when we show up with respect and with, I think, an intent to hear as well as listen and speak, right? So I'm here to learn too. Like I told y'all, if I had all the answers, I would be in a different position, but God knows best. I'm learning now, and I'm learning from women who are willing to share the knowledge, because guess what? That's another thing I realized. A lot of the knowledge is not being passed on. A lot of what our mothers and our grandmothers knew, sometimes it didn't fit to current times, and other times I think it came kind of clouded by their personal experience. It may not really be true, but now you hold that as your Bible. Now you hold that as how you are approaching men, how you are approaching women, fill in the blank, right? Either side is all equal opportunity here on the SuzetteSpeaks show. But what I'm really excited about is that we can change narratives. That is super important. That is a recurring theme here on the SuzetteSpeaks show. I want you to change your narrative, guys. And oftentimes we don't even know we have permission to do it. We don't even know we've been holding on to the same narrative almost our whole lives that have not been serving us. Hello, somebody. So we're going to do some work. We're going to be open. We're going to be honest. We're going to hopefully, get some guys maybe at the end of the conversation, maybe gals, whoever wants to come up and give their 2 cents at the end. And we're just going to see where you guys, where you guys agree. What questions you may have for someone who's been there, done that. That's important, because she's been there, done that. She is married. And again, this show, I want to focus on more of the selection process. How did you know he was the one? Was it one of those he went away and came back? Was it one of those, because I just heard a stream, I was listening to Tony Gaskins, and he was like, don't bring him back, sis. Don't bring him back. Tony Gaskins says, y'all stop bringing these men back in your lives once the doors close. And he was giving, it's very funny, but he was giving his take on reasons men leave and reasons men come back. Do y'all take them back? Do you guys do second tries, guys or gals? Let me get in my chat and see what you guys are saying. But before I do, I want to make sure you guys know I have an exclusive Patreon. It is 1 month and change strong. Actually, almost a month. Not even a month yet. 2 days I'll be on Patreon for a whole month. And I'm grateful to all my patrons. So if you guys don't know what Patreon is a sister platform for YouTubers to give almost like a membership for exclusive content. So, stuff that you will not get on YouTube. We are going to have intimate, deep dive conversations coming up. The next Patreon is going to be Saturday after my live show at 12. We're going to be going over to Patreon right about 2:30 or 3 and talking about, I have a topic called, oh my gosh, it slips me. I was just thinking of it, but reconnecting post pandemic, or what did I call it? Breaking the isolation. So many of us have stopped talking to certain people, stopped doing certain things, and not really trying to reconnect, even though it's a new year and it's 2022. And I know what isolation does to me or has done to me in the past. And I wanted to kind of bring it to the fore just to check on my folks and make sure we are approaching it as we should be in this new year. So I love the topic. I can't wait to discuss the topic with you. We pick interesting, introspective topics that have to do with life lessons, relationships, emotional intelligence, breaking the mold, right, of how you think or what your mental space is telling you, things that are not serving you. We're going to break those things and hopefully give you roadmaps to a more elevated position in every area of your life, professionally and personally. So that's what the Patreon is about. I know it's a tall order, but we help each other. We coach each other in that space. And I'm grateful for all those who have become members of the Patreon. So I hope you see the address there on your screen. I hope you will consider joining the Patreon. I put up the Cash App if you guys want to show some love. Let me get in the chat before I bring my guest up. She has been so patient. I'm grateful again that she decided to come on and talk about relationships. This is probably, again, not my wheelhouse, not my strength, if you will. I always listen more than I speak in this space when it comes to relationships because I ain't married. But it's great because I don't think the transfer of knowledge is happening as much as it used to be, where your aunties and your grandmama them and big mama them told you, or if they had successful relationships, told you what it would really take, what it really means to be a wife. I had a lady tell me one time, a wife is a servant. A wife is a servant. Y'all ain't hearing that though. Are y'all hearing that? Somebody told you that? I had to stop when she said it. She was like, a wife is a servant. And I said, wait, let me get in the Bible. Let me make sure I understand what I'm trying to sign up for. Because I think many people have different definitions, especially modern definitions of what a husband is and what a wife is, and really what a marriage is and the purposes of it. So I for one, know, and I'm going to ask my guests, and I want you to ask questions in the chat because it's about y'all. I want to know, the virtues of marriage. What is good about it? With all the crazy commentary that comes in, you don't want to get married, these women gonna get you, and all that, with all that commentary, is there a reason to be married? And if so, what are the benefits for men and women? I think we don't really talk about that, at least not in my circles. I see my friends who are married. I'm cheering for them who are married, but they're not giving me the playbook, y'all. They're not telling me why and how. They're just not. So I don't think it's on purpose. I think some people are afraid that other people are going to try to take their man. I get it, but there's so much knowledge that is not, being transferred is the best way I can call it. And I'm wondering why, and I'm trying to transfer some today. So let's go. Y'all hit the like button. You know what to do. It's Suzette Speaks, welcoming you to another great stream here on YouTube and on Facebook. Welcome to my guests watching on either platform. Drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And also hit the like button. You know that's important to us YouTubers, that we see you interacting, liking, commenting, sharing, the whole 9 yards. I ask it humbly because it's so important to us when it comes to driving that algorithm. So let me get over in the chat. I want to welcome you again. I saw RM, you were first in the chat. Let me back up the chat. Oh, we get a super chat. The super chat is on. So welcome. Y'all can hit me with that love. I appreciate it. RM, my fantastic moderator. First in the chat, Michonne Denyse, the guest. You see her name there. Go over to her channel and subscribe. She is going to be quite transparent when it comes to why she got married. She's just going to tell us a story, y'all. We want to listen. We want to glean. We want to understand. We want to understand women who are making these choices. Why are they making it and how are they making it? Right? On what basis? Mr. Real Estate, I see you. Third. Y'all so funny. Welcome to all of you. Y'all still talking about My early birds. What's up? Welcome, Learn Biz, the podcast. I see you, Urban Lady. Welcome. Another great Patreon member along with Mr. Real Estate. Thank you for being here. Good afternoon and welcome. Black's Tropical Homestead. Thank you. Fantastic channel. Y'all talk about 4th, 5th, and 6th. Y'all was here early. I know my early birds be on time. I be running a little late, but I hope y'all forgive me. Sometimes it gets kind of crazy on the technical side and you don't look good. You have to restart your computer. All of a sudden your internet wants to act crazy when it was perfectly fine leading up to it. But we do what we have to do. Struggle stream every now and then, but we're here and I'm grateful that you are as well. So welcome, Black's Tropical Homestead. Put your location in the chat. What up? Learn Biz, the podcast, all the way. Oh, you represent for the home team, 305 in the building. Let's go. Fort Lauderdale, Miami. What's up? Savannah, Georgia. Black's Tropical Homestead says, okay, yeah, y'all put y'all numbers in. Thank you and welcome. Y'all, I want to thank this brother. Before we get started, I want to thank this brother right here. Before the Billions had me on his show, was that Tuesday after we had a show, and we did a fantastic just get to know you interview. And I thank you, brother, for allowing me to come on your platform. If you don't subscribe, first of all, to Before the Billions, go do that. And I wanted to say, if you didn't get to watch it, I shared it on my community page. So let's go take a peek behind the curtain on more about who I am and how I got into YouTube and what I hope to do. So thank you, Before the Billions, for allowing me to be on your platform, sir. I enjoyed it. I had a great time. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hey, Kimo, one of my patrons represent from Dominica. Now I know. Thank you. Welcome. I see you. You talking about you was curious about me being single? Well, that's not going to be, I might discuss it on the Patreon. But I'm here to gain knowledge. You talking about why don't you get married in TLA? Listen, what I realize is men control the access to marriage. Ooh, y'all mad. Ooh, y'all mad. Is that true? Y'all mad? Y'all disagree? Men control the access to marriage, particularly as we get older, ladies. Ooh. Oh, did I hurt somebody? I hope I didn't hurt your feeling. Welcome, everybody. But we going to discuss it. Thank you, Sun Breeze, Bay Area, and a fantastic patron, Doug, in the building, another member of my Patreon community. Thank you for being here. And I see a super chat. Good afternoon, Queens. What up, Queens, New York, in the building. What's up, Brandon Baxter? I see you. I'm doing well today, y'all. Feeling that beautiful sound from South Florida. It has been a beautiful day. Stepped outside. Listen, we ain't talking about TLA with husband options. Y'all trying to throw, y'all, you know what? I'm really, y'all don't put TLA out there like that. Like I said, men control access to marriage. Y'all mad. But women acting like we do. Oh, Sue, don't start this early. Don't start. We just started. Hello, Queen Regina. Nice to see you, doll. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, what's good? You know what? Take your talents to the YouTube. Yeah, we're trying to do something different here. So I appreciate you being here for enjoying, hopefully, the content. I hope that's what's happening. Yeah, y'all messy with the TLA. Let's see what Brandon Baxter said. Marriage is only 3 entities: the wealthy, the deeply religious, and the certain cultures. Marriage is only for 3 entities. The wealthy, because trust me, the top 10%, they gonna marry. Oh, they have to have the legacy to pass the money down to. That's, I think, very true. Deeply religious, and for certain cultures. Very astute observation, sir. Can't wait to get a little deeper. Wealth engineering, I didn't know you was in Montreal. Okay, my Canadian brother or sister, I don't know, but nice to see you. Welcome. Okay, ATL says Before the Billions. I see you. Welcome. Listen, you in this dating app, Doug. Listen, Doug, thanks for getting in my business. We're going to discuss it. Thank you. Or maybe not. Thank you. ATL says Queen Regina. Welcome. I see you. Doug want to get messy early. I'm not trying to do that. Yes, Suzette does speak wealth engineering. That's a part of it. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, Before the Billions. Check it out. It's on my community page. When you have some time, go ahead and watch the interview. It was fun. And I hopefully, I'm on a clip actually Before the Billions. If not this week, next week, I'm going to clip certain parts of your interview with me. But specifically, Mr. Real Estate, you asked me a very deep question. I think I'm going to clip that and put it on for the people who didn't watch it. Chemo, you asked me a very good question as well. Who else? A couple people. First Gen Corporate, if you're watching, let me know. First Gen Corporate asked me a very good question. And at the end of the interview, y'all, my little eyelash came off. Just like I gotta be trying to glue it on strong, but the eyelash came off. It almost lasted the entire interview. It almost lasted. And then I was like, before the millions, we gotta end, we gotta end, we gotta end. And then bloop, bloop, bloop. I had to just pull it off. You know what? No shame. This is reality TV. I might clip that. Hey, what's going on, Shay? Nice to see you. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm getting a little tongue twisted. I'm gonna take a sip of water as my guest comes now to introduce herself. But I just wanted to say what's up, everybody. I see Gail at night. Welcome to another great content creator. Fantastic, not only information but discussions going on over there for sure. Thank you, Gail at night, for also being a moderator when you can over here. So I appreciate you. See her channel. Go subscribe. Oh, another super chat. Wagwan Gaston's World tore up my show last Saturday again. Dating advice from the manosphere. Broke down the whole red pill, blue pill. I think I need to go back and watch Matrix, honestly. But Gaston was a brave soul. Gave us some of the knowledge that he has been observing through the manosphere and what they're teaching as far as the realities of dating. So if you have not watched Dating Advice from the Manosphere, it's on my page. Go ahead and on YouTube and go check it out. It was a fabulous conversation. Thank you, Gaston's World. We're going to do it again, probably early February, because people enjoyed it. Over 1,000 views within 24 hours. I was like, okay, people like the relationship conversation. I'm trying to get the personal development popping, and y'all want to talk about marriage and family and all that. So anyway, if you like that kind of conversation, thank you, Gaston's World, for the contribution. Appreciate it. No words, just love, as TLA would say. Thank you, Gaston's World. You have been such a big contributor to my YouTube success in many ways. Thank you. Awesome. All right, we're going to say what's up. I'm big up a couple more people. Big up yourself, Cash Flow Hustle. What's up? Doing my thing. Feeling great. It's a beautiful day. I'm ready for this conversation. Little Rock, Arkansas, by way of Chi-Town. Welcome. I didn't know that. Ode it to Chef. Yes, let's go. Michonne Denyse, make it rain with the. I'll make it rain on you. I'll make it rain. Don't get me hyped. Big up yourselves. I see you guys. I want to say hi to everybody. You know how I am. Yep. Ooh. Yep. Control of marriage. Women control access to. You don't know what. Hello, I see you. I know what you meant. That's absolute truth about marriage, says Jessica Jones's cousin. Welcome. Nice to see you. Shout out to everybody in the chat, says Gaston's World. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm just in a good mood because, like I said, these are tough conversations even for me when it comes to understanding my position and where I stand on marriage and where I think I'm, ready or maybe not so ready when I listen, So I just want to make sure I'm listening, I'm learning along with you as we talk about these conversations that have a lot. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, we're going to talk the things. That's a Jamaican way of saying, ooh, I want to hear the tea. Thank you. Queen G, you're going to talk the things. Yeah, we're going to talk the things today for real. Let me see. Sunbreeze says, both men and women control the access to marriage. So you're just saying two. It takes two to tango. I hear you. Yeah, they trying hard to match me up with TLA. I don't know. Like I say, he's a wonderful gentleman. I am so proud of him. I am grateful for his boost in the YouTube space and through his YouTube elementary. I always gotta, show respect and love for TLA. But y'all leave that on the internet. Y'all leave that alone. See, where are we going? We're here to talk to Michonne Denyse. We're here to get her take on why she got married. Y'all up in the tea, stirring the pot, trying to make some moves. Hey, DO3A, nice to see you. Welcome, my dear. Appreciate y'all getting busy in the chat. Nola, wonderful. 34, wagwan. All right, when I'm ready, I'm ready to start. So again, just show some love, please. Again, hit the like button as you come in. You know what to do. Thank you so much. Her channel, oh my Jesus, I have to copy and paste it. I'm gonna copy and paste it and put it in the chat. So my moderators keep posting her channel. We want y'all to go over to her channel and subscribe as well. So without further ado, straight out of the YouTube elementary with me, a fantastic grown woman who has made the decision to step into a holy matrimony, who has said to herself, I'm going to, partner. Y'all don't like that word. Y'all don't like that word. I am going to give and receive. Give and receive. I'm going to prepare myself and therefore bring myself to the crossroads of what it is to be married. And then I have taken the step, the plunge, the dive. Somebody say, oh, and then plunge into this incredible world. Again, it's not always a bed of roses. It is not, perfect, I'm sure, all the time. We're gonna dispel that too. But there's a lot of good in it. There's a lot of reasons still to be married. And we're gonna discuss it with my special guest today. Without further ado, give a warm Suzette Speaks. Welcome to Mrs. Mashawn. I almost got it. Mashawn Denyse. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm good, bestie. How are you?
Yay. We're here. We're going to chit chat. Let the people talk the things. We're gonna get all up in your business. She was like, Sue, I'm open book. I'm gonna go ahead and tell them how it happened for me and just talk. Like I said, she doesn't have all the answers. We don't purport to have all the answers, but it's good to learn from one another. And there's no better way to learn just by listening to someone's experiences. So, without further ado, first, please introduce yourself and talk about your channel. What do you do here on YouTube?
I follow all of you people, honestly. So I started with TLA, like most people, and he's always like, "Oh, start a channel. Oh, start a channel." I'm like, to say what? And then I think it was Monique or something happened, and people were saying, "Oh, who do the women talk to? Who do the women talk to?" And I'm like, "All right, well, I guess I can do that." So I started the channel honestly about a month ago. And it's just a way for me to basically speak about my experiences, particularly to the ladies, because there's a ton of men out here, at least in my part of YouTube. I'm listening to Manosphere, Black Manosphere, Kevin Samuels, all you guys I listen to. So it's like if women are only listening to men, my thought process was okay, well, maybe there should be another woman to listen to, because I know that there's other female married content creators as well. Maybe not married as long as I have been. So I said, all right, let's start. And so I do reactions, discussions, well, not discussions yet, and give advice. So when I'm doing my reactions, I try to give a little bit of advice to the ladies on like, okay, you shouldn't do this, or all right, that sounds good. And I'm still trying to figure it out. So as Suzette had said, I don't like being in front of the camera. TLA says that that's something I should get over. So that's also another reason why I wanted to do this. I definitely want to be a behind the scenes person, but I'm working on things. So I'm here.
Yay, I'm proud of you for stepping out there. Like she said, she don't really go on camera like that. So to be here is a privilege, and I'm grateful. Y'all say what's up in the chat. Show some love. Again, I just dropped the link. The one that you sent me. It's a little shorter, but hopefully it gets to her channel. So go ahead and subscribe to her channel so you can get familiar with this content creator. So I don't know where to start, girl, from the beginning. Let's see what so how long have you been married? Let me ask you that first of all.
It is 27 years going on 28.
I am learning, guys. We have not spoken in detail. So I'm so happy that you go see real reactions. Talk about reaction. All right, so 27 years. Okay, so she knows a little something about marriage and what it takes to keep a happy home. But let's go way back and try to talk about, and again, courtship might be even different from when you courted, but I really am curious. So tell me about yourself, first and foremost, as like a teenager, how you grew up, what your household was like. I think that often impacts how we date, who we date. So give us a broad overview of how you grew up and how you were raised.
Whoo, child, don't have me emotional on this camera now.
So, that's okay.
So my mother is a baby boomer. I know there's been a lot of talk about baby boomers as of late. And so I was initially raised by my grandmother, my great grandmother for the most part. So up until the age of 6, that's all I knew was my grandmother, my great grandmother, and all of their children. Because at that time, people did have a lot of kids. My great grandmother, I believe, had 10 children. And I guess things started to change thereafter because my grandmother, my mother's mother, only had 2 children. Somewhere in the mix, my mother came into the picture because honestly, I knew who she was, and I'm not saying she abandoned me or anything. It's just like I just was always with my grandmothers. So she decided to get married to not my father, and it was a military person. So then that means that I had to start traveling. So I was basically taken away from what I was familiar with, and finally, or went here, there, and the third. Finally settled in, I'll just say the Philadelphia area, and this is where I remain today. They, did their thing. They had a kid, meaning my stepfather and my mother, and I have that one sister from them. And my dad was not around. My real father was not around, but that's because now I know he was in the military. So he was fighting wars, and I don't know where he was, but he was out there being in the military. So when I got to be in high school, I guess I was a handful. So I came home one day from school and found that I had a box with all of my stuff in it, as much she could get in it, and with a note that said, "Have a nice life."
Who put
And
that on? Great grandma?
my mother, my mother,
Ooh, and you were how old?
17, not
So
yet graduated.
when they went, okay, not all of us have different teenage experiences. So you were out hanging out. Uh,
Mm-mm.
you weren't doing none of that.
No, no. I
Wow.
I had a boyfriend. I had a high school
Mhm.
sweetheart, thank God, and he
Yeah.
we came home. He was bringing me home from school, and we come up to a huge box that's just sitting on the porch. So then I found out that she was getting
Wow.
divorced from my stepfather, and then
Mhm.
that she was moving to North. I'll just say North, and
Mhm.
that she was taking my sister with her. So that was the end of that.
Mm. Wow. So talk about jarring circumstance growing up in, like, the happy life sounds like up to that point, and then boom, I'm done. You go ahead and finish the rest yourself. Ah, wow. So how did you navigate that at such a tender age? What was that like?
Well, thankfully, I had my boyfriend at the time who
Wow.
took me to my best friends and her family. Thank God they were there for me. And my best friend is one of 5 children. And then there was me and a dog, 2 parents, and a partridge in a pear tree. So it was tight to say the least, but they were there for me, thank God. And they're my family to this day. And they allowed me to be there through the rest of high school and when I started college. So my best friend and I went to the same college together, but she stayed
Wow.
on campus and I still had to stay at home. Well,
Mm.
stay with them, I should say.
I'm like, God sends an angel, literally,
Yeah, literally.
to save you. So you got to finish high school.
Yeah,
Got to go to college.
yes.
Fantastic. So, what was your dating life like? Were you still with the high school sweetheart when you got to college? What was that like? Were you looking for a husband in school? Did you go to a historically black school? Did you go to a PWI? Tell us a little bit more about your dating experience in college.
So I went to a university. It was not historically Black. And me and my best friend were in the same school. So I went and I stayed with her. So when my high school sweetheart and I got to college, because he was at the same college as well, that relationship was pretty much over after about 60 days because we both saw college, right? So I actually, I don't know, like when I think about it today, I probably was looking for someone, but I wouldn't necessarily say I was like, "Oh, I want to marry you," or "I want to marry you." I've always been a person that's like, I want to be in a relationship. So I want a boyfriend, and that's just who I am and who I've always been. So when we broke up, eh, there was someone else that I set my sights on, and he was a Kappa. So that's fraternity.
Hold on now. Hold on. Happy Founders Day to all of the blind nine. I think what they said, this is a season where all the ladies celebrate their founders' days, and I think Sigma's founders' day just passed, and
Always
Delta's
somebody's
might
found
be
that.
today. I'm not a sorority members, but shout
Me
out to
either.
all of those who are celebrating their founders' day, AKAs, SG Rose, Eta Phi Beta, all of y'all. Lots of love to all the Divine
Cover them
Nine.
all, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Covered them. I'm like, I know it's somebody's day to day, but in your dating, so let me just back up in terms of that psychology that you just shared, that you have always wanted to be with somebody, you have always wanted a man. Where did that come from? You knew that from when you were a little girl, you were younger.
Honestly, when I think about it, in recent years, I should say, it's just been that way since honestly high school. Um, in the ninth grade, there was a boyfriend. In the 10th grade, there was a boyfriend. In the 11th grade, there was my high school sweetheart. Then I got to college, there's my college sweetheart. So I don't know where it came from, but it was just there. It was just there.
So I'm going to ask a piggyback question.
Mhm.
So these people came towards you, or you pursued those folks?
It's they definitely showed interest, and then I make the decision on whether I want to pursue or not.
Mhm, mhm.
As far as like my high school sweetheart, so this is me. So I'm probably gonna be labeled a pick me, right? I just
No
never knew that
labels.
term until I got onto YouTube. Yo, I'm pretty sure that's what I am. So when I was in high school, I said, where the guys at? Because I can't just be with anybody. Me and my best friend, we were in high school together, all in high school together. And so she said football. I said, no, ma'am, I'm not going to be outside in the cold. So I said basketball. So she dealt with football. That was known as, like, you took care of the football players. It was called basketball manager and football manager. So she did that. And I did basketball. My high school sweetheart was on a basketball team. He said, hey, I said, okay. And that was that. She then decided to come into the warmth and become a basketball manager. And rode high school out doing that. So when you think about high school, the popular people are football players, basketball players, and cheerleaders. I was never going to be a cheerleader. I was never going to be outside. So basketball it was. And I love basketball. So that made sense. I could speak to it. I know what the plays are. I know who the players are with their positions and all those things. So it kind of plays to my strengths at the same time. I know basketball. I love basketball.
So, okay, so you set yourself up to be in a place where you could connect with guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what y'all remember the managers, the ladies who used to bring, what was it, towels and water and wash
Yes,
the uniform. Y'all basically did that.
yes,
Like, so you
yes.
was in the right place at the right time. You were like, let me wash these towels and let me get y'all some Gatorade, squirt in your mouth. I
Exactly.
remember because I played basketball. We had managers as well, the girls' teams, but the guys' teams had athletic trainers slash managers. So it was very interesting to see that. So you had a forethought in terms of, I want to be where dudes are. I'm not going to be freezing, and I'm going to put myself out there to meet and
Yes.
be around eligible guys. So that was first and foremost. And you were a student. Did someone teach you that, or did it just common sense? Like, I want a dude. I'm gonna go where
Mhm.
the dudes are. Let me go do what I gotta do.
Honestly, it's common
Interesting.
sense. Honestly,
Okay, cool. So you've always had, like you said, just an inclination from high school, puberty, if you want to call it teenagership. You were
yeah.
like, I need a dude. So you mentioned that your father would you didn't grow up with your father.
No, he was in the military, so he was a
So do you
white
think that
boy.
had okay? And do you think that had any impact on how you view men, or you just feel like you had your natural your nature kind of grew on its own?
Um, maybe it was my grandmother. Now that you say that, my great grandmother, I never knew her husband because he died before I think I could realize who it was. My grandmother, my mother's mother, when I she got married, when he died, I never saw her with anyone again. My aunts and uncles, they are married. You never saw them with anyone else after, like, if someone died.
Okay.
I only saw divorce in like the last 10 years of my family. Everyone else is
Stay
basically,
together.
they're together.
So
Yeah,
death do us
that's what I've
part.
seen.
So you had seen, even though your daddy wasn't there,
Right.
he was serving. You had some kind of role models where you saw people got married, people stayed together. When people died, some didn't go look for other relationships, but they did.
Correct.
Okay, so I just want to give folks a good primer in terms of where you are coming from your early dating skills, from your early examples in your life. Everybody has different stories, especially in those formative years. So I think it's
Yeah.
good for people to understand where you're coming from, how you grew up, and what your early dating mindset was. All right. So we're in college. So you went to a PWI and you got rid of not got rid of high school sweetheart, and both of you were like, mutual goodbye, we're in college now, there's so many more pickings.
Yes.
So were you looking for a husband as and I think you would be of the right kind of generation, if you will, to have been looking for a husband because that was still being taught. Were you looking for a husband when you stepped onto a college campus?
I wouldn't say I was looking for a husband, but I definitely was like, all right, who's gonna, I'm looking for a relationship. I'll put it that way. So it
Okay.
wasn't like, oh, I want to get married. Where are you? No. But I definitely wanted to make the right choice to see, who I would spend college with.
Wow.
And given it's a whole different world going to college and having so many, honestly, Black people. My high school was not predominantly Black, not that my college was, but because Black people, when you go to white institutions, they tend to gather
Congregate.
together and do everything together. So that was nice to
Your
see
experience.
have.
Yeah, so that's similar. I went to a PWI as well. So when we get together, we looked out for each other. We were like,
Yes.
oh, I see you in classes, at parties. It was like a school within a
Yes.
school in a way. We had
Yes.
our subculture and we were very connected. All the
We
Black
were.
folks knew each other because we were like surviving together. So that's pretty cool. So
Absolutely.
you were mingling. You were like, not necessarily husband, but I'm looking to see what's out here. Now, did you leave there with like a soulmate, or what was the experience coming out of college?
So I did not graduate from the university, but I would still go there because that's where my best friend was, because I had stuff to deal with because I was still in her house, her home before she left college. So I had, other things I needed to do and work.
Financial pressures. I hear you. Life. Yes.
So
Mhm.
there was someone who showed interest that I was interested in. Like I said, he was a Kappa. All right.
Shimmy, shimmy. Any Kappas? Drop a comment, drop a diamond, or drop a, what is it? A Playboy sign. Any Kappas in the building? Y'all know about these Kappas. If you didn't go to a school that had fraternity members, describe what the stereotype of a Kappa is.
Pretty boy.
Pretty boy Floyds. Pretty boys who twirled canes and
Yes, yes,
shimmy their
definitely.
shoulders in a
They're
way.
red and white. So I had never known what stepping was either, honestly. So that was
Not the
mesmerizing.
shimmy. I see you learn videos. They do shimmy their shoulders and they give you that shoulder roll. You be like, oh, okay, all right, good.
They all do, not just them. They all do. They all do some good things.
Oh yeah, frat guys fun because they're so they build confidence.
They do.
And then they're the cool kids, if you will. Like I mean, I would say at big schools, especially PWIs, it's the football team and basketball team first, and then fraternities get like the next amount of girls because they're just cool. They have the group calls and the chants and all of that. So you get a Kappa, and what happens?
Oh, I messed that all up. I became a Kappa sweetheart, first of all, just to
Okay, you was a Kappa suite,
to
and
put myself in proximity to, again,
you good.
my girlfriend. I told her, I said, I'm never gonna pledge a sorority, so never ask me that. I'm never gonna do that. I already know. So then she says, okay, well then we can become Kappa sweethearts. I said, all right, I'll do that. But if the first person that hits me, I'm done. I'm not doing this. So I
Oh,
found
so
a way
as far as pledging or hazing or anything like that. Okay, so
hazing and
you're
all
like,
those
I
types.
didn't think Kappa Suites got hazed, did they?
I didn't know. This was my first experience. I didn't know
Oh, okay.
sororities and
Learn Biz, the podcast say Michonne wasn't playing. She went beeline. Oh my gosh. And we were friends back in the day. If I had you with like a friend like you, I might have been in a different mindset because, oh my goodness. So you were like, I am here to find somebody. How do we find somebody? Oh, they got a whole sister organization. They're not their own separate sorority. They are complements of the male sorority. Kind of like the same thing, like the role of the manager, like
Yes,
the team manager for the frat. So you become a
absolutely.
sweetheart, and then what happens?
And that was so I was as a Kappa sweetheart, you were at the will of all of the brothers. So while you're pledging and all of those type of things. So I couldn't I couldn't be there. I couldn't be in at the school because I had to worry about other things. I had to work. I had to figure out what I was going to do otherwise because I really couldn't live continue to live the rest of my life with this family who was wonderful to me. Don't get me wrong, but it just started to be an issue. So I was neglecting my boyfriend. I was not available, and it's not really a fault, but I had to I couldn't spend time there. I had to go there. So I live here, but I had to go there. So it's I had to get a job. I had to work. I had to get money. I had to, and he's in school and they're in school. I can't be there. So I guess it's not really a mess up, but
No,
it's
you had other priorities at the
yeah,
time. I hear you. So,
yeah.
so did you really love him? Did you feel like he was going to be the one?
I did, and people
That's why you call
my
it a mess up. I'm like,
girlfriend.
how is that a mess up? But you thought he was the one.
Yeah, my girlfriend,
Mm,
she was still
mm.
there. She said, "I thought that you all would get married." She said that. She said, "I thought it would you all would get married." So
Eesh.
I'm like, I got to get out of your house. Like I can't. Like
You're like,
I'm living
I'm
in
trying to
her
be
house.
independent. Like I'm trying to figure out how my life gonna go,
I'm
and
living
I'm
in her
still,
house with her
yeah.
family, and she's not there. That is.
Oh, so you didn't live on campus or anything like that? Because I was like, when
Mm-mm,
you move on campus, you didn't. So you were
mm-mm.
still living there, even though she was on campus. Okay, that would be awkward. Because those
Yes.
people like, wait a minute, my own daughter is out of the house and you here. So you had to make moves, unfortunately, that precluded you from being on campus and being with this man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. So how did that end? You just had to cut it off because you weren't a student anymore?
Yes. Things kind of just fizzle out when you're not able to see people. I'm not there. You're not there. He's, still doing this, that, and the third, and I can't be a part of it much anymore. So
All right. So we have a stage that is set with how you started your dating life. That's all I wanted. I know I'm picking a little bit into your past, but I appreciate you going there with me, sis, because I want people to understand who you are before we understand where you are now, like who you were in your formative years. I think that again, before I even date people, y'all, I be really, 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 really into it. Let me do a quick reset here. Michonne, check your phone for me, please. Just a quick reset. Suzette Speaks. I am here. This is my channel. I am welcoming you. We are having a fun discussion with Michonne Denyse. She is a YouTuber. She has her own channel. Moderators, please drop it into the chat for me. I am grateful that she's here. She's usually not on camera, but today she is just for this discussion. So we are very fortunate that she became very brave and she is sharing her story of marriage, of relationships, and why she decided to get married and how she stayed married for 27 years, y'all. People can't even make it for 2 years. I don't even know how people doing it like that, but it is serious when you can get someone who's willing to talk and willing to be open and willing to share, talk about their ups and their downs, the misadventures and the adventures, how they started with their significant other, their husband. So I wanted to give her some background because everybody got a past, everybody got issues. We got ways that we feel we messed up. I didn't even call what she did and mess up. Just life pulled you in another direction, and that's another lesson in and of itself. That sometimes you meet that one, oh help me God, and you meet that one, and you like this the man though, this the one God, but circumstances, and sometimes they're just not even ready. It don't happen. So I'm bringing her back. Y'all, welcome again, Miss Michonne Denyse. Just wanted to do a quick reset so people could see who you are, where you coming from. Hit us up with your questions and comments. So we're past college now. It didn't work out with the first man that you thought could have been your husband because you just had financial obligations. You didn't have a place to stay. You were living with your best friend's people, even though your best friend was already a student living on campus, and you just had to get yourself in financial order. Your parents, your mom had just said, "Come, go, goodbye," kind of put you out, if you will, and then you had to just figure it out. So your best friend's parents were very gracious to you, allowing you to stay there, but you had to figure it out and get out their house. All right. So what happens next? Done with Kappa. Where's your next major relationship, or where do you move onto from there?
So I had became a school bus driver and started going to a community college instead. So with that, I was driving kids to school basically, and my husband now was a bus driver as well. So we met. We were
On the
friends.
job. All right, let me get into it. Who spoke to who first? I
Well,
guess I'm a guess the answer. Hold on. Let me guess. You went up to him first.
no, we were friends. We were just friends.
Oh,
You
so friends as in who initiated the friendship?
it was just when you're part of something like that, it's just you're all friends because with
Okay.
bus drivers, you go to work early in the morning, you're done for the middle of the day, you come back. So we would all just hang together because
So
to
true
make sure.
friendship. So nobody wasn't like trying to get with nobody and no hanky panky and no, no ABCD.
I didn't say that, but between me and him, no.
Okay. So you worked at the same place because I
Yes.
think sometimes there is a very big risk in dating people that you work with. Did you feel that?
Yes. I
Were you
agree.
nervous about it?
No, it's only school bus driving. It was not going to be my career. So
You was like, bump the rules, or I
ex-
don't care. I'm not gonna be at this job anyway. So okay. So how long before you became friends and then started seeing each other?
so I was actually seeing someone else actually that worked at that bus place, and that person was crazy, which I did not realize at the time.
Oh boy.
So that person happened to live across the street from my husband. So one evening, that man would not let me leave. Like he would not let me leave his house. I was breaking up with him basically, and he would not let me leave his house. And
Mm-mm.
so I'm still living with my friend's mother, and I have their car because they let me use their car too. And so the car was out front, and my husband lived across the street, and he was like, "Why is her car still here?" Like he was looking out. He was looking out for sure, for sure. So the next morning, like it was all night, he would not let me leave. He came in, he knocked on the door. He said, "Where's Michonne?" And he said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he said, "His her car is out here. Where is she?" And I was able to be like, "I'm right here." I came up, I'm like, "I'm right here." And he was like, "Let's go." And he rescued me, to be perfectly honest with you. And
Wow, pause. Excuse me for interrupting. So I'm sorry, I lost train of thought because I looked at the Seattle Black Veteran Super Chat. Thank you. I appreciate you having my back. Thank you, sir. So let me just back up and make sure I understand what's going on here. So you started this first job out of school or had stopped school, had to get a job. I'm a bus driver. Okay. And I see you, many people saying, thank you for your service, Sunbreeze. I see you. So Keita says dating is crazy these days. So you started dating somebody from the bus job that was off, crazy in your words. So you were living with the person was not allowing you to leave.
I didn't live with them. I had
Oh,
or to say, "This is over. We're done."
oh, so you went over there to cut it and
Yes,
he would not let you leave.
correct,
Understood. So you weren't living there. You had gone to say, listen, we done.
correct.
He went off the deep end. How long had you been dating this person?
Uh, maybe 6 months, if that long.
Yeah, okay. So he had a problem. Okay.
Hmm.
So then the who ends up becoming your husband kind of caught wind of this, saw your car. Oh, I love it. This is why I know when men want you, you don't have to do much. Like you have to be ready, of course, but I'm just saying they pursue is what I want to say. So he came and checked you out because he probably heard that old boy was acting a little shady. So he came to see what had happened and saw your car was out there, and he was like, "Where's Mashando?" And he was like, "She ain't here, she ain't here." I can picture it. It's like a movie. And then you're like, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here." Like, and he literally rescued you.
Literally.
Oh my gosh. So how did that make you feel?
Of course, I was like appreciative. Like, you come out, and he
You
was
was like,
like,
"You the man."
he was like, "Are you okay?" I said, I will be. I am now. So,
Oh, all right, I'm talking about it ain't Disney, but I'll take it. Yeah. So how did he even know you were over there, that it was going to be a problem? You think he followed you?
They lived across the street from one another.
Oh, just caught that. Okay. That was in my reading the super chat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So
And
he had your back, rescued you from this kind of crazy guy. And so you guys started dating then?
yeah, after that, for sure. Yeah.
Ooh, all right. So we get into it. So first of all, he showed his leadership, protection. Oh man, like quite physically. Yee. So the other guy kind of disappeared. He didn't bother you no more. The first guy.
That's not true. But
Question. Sorry, that was a question. Yes.
no, that's not true. He actually tried to accost me again. And then this was at, I don't know. This is a crazy story because I was at a gas station. I was at the gas station in their area, filling up my tank, and he came out of nowhere and was just pushing up on me, for lack of a better way to describe it. And my husband had a friend who worked in the gas station, because this is their area of town. I don't know a community like this anymore. I was ripped from it. So that guy called my husband, and all of a sudden, my husband and like 15 of his cousins was at that gas station in about 5 minutes.
Oh boy,
And then they threatened
This is
him
like
and said,
old school, like
they
West Side
threatened him. They
Story.
said, if you ever reach out to her again, we gonna handle you.
Y'all feeling this? I'm like, I picture a West Side Story, like people are like coming out the hood, like before there was all this crazy, violence of real, guns and whatever. When boys was like, "Yo, I'm gonna tell you one more time, you come back over here, you gonna get it." Like, this is so crazy. So he was looking out. Again, how did he know you were at the gas station?
His friend worked at the gas station.
Oh,
he was an attendant, which I didn't realize that. And he called him and said, she's here and he's here. And he brought all of his cousins, and they just ascended.
Lot of mercy. How did that make you feel?
Same. I was like, I was feeling rescued. I was looked out upon. This is an area of, I was not familiar with this area of town. I knew how to get to where I knew how to get to, and I knew how to get out. So the fact that all these people just swarmed out of nowhere and just surrounded us and threatened him, no one has ever done that for me before. Nobody has ever fought for me before, anything similar to that. Like the dudes that my boyfriends I had before, they took care of me. I'm not saying that they didn't, but I'm not a fighter, and I'm not involved in fights, and I don't do stuff like that. That's just not in my nature. So it was new to me. It was nice. I'm being rescued. Like,
this is a different time. Y'all, let me see what the comments got to say, because I'm interested in this, and it's so like viscerally like real, and people might have different takes on this type of beginning. They say the character unfolds, says Sunbreeze, a few months after dating. So it's not even like you can tell that people are off or crazy. Like 6 months is you think a decent amount of time, but people can hide. Like, I won't say lie, but they can camouflage it. I don't want I can't put this comment on the screen. I can't read the screen. making Supermans and Spider-Man's come. Lord have mercy. Something about this girl, right? Something good is causing. So wow. Okay, so take away some of the Superman heroics. Let's just say, because every man not gonna get the opportunity to be that and do that. So I'm trying to figure out what at the these are the questions I want. Thank you, D. So what was the age difference between you and your husband?
He's 2 years younger than me.
Oh, 2 years younger. Fantastic. So, before all of this kind of like heavy, very dramatic, eventful stuff was happening, were you talking and getting to know and falling in love with, frankly, your husband? Were there parts of him that you had already seen, like, I want this man, I think this man is going to be the person who I build my life with? Or, as a result of feeling protected, you showing up and rescuing me, did I start to develop those feelings? Which came first? Were you already kind of developing those deep feelings of like lifetime marital bliss, or the potential of that? Or were these like the hallmarks of like, oh no, I got to keep this one?
These are the hallmarks of I got to keep this one, because I
Ah,
knew like the person that I was breaking up with, it's like, one, you're not husband material. This is it all a game. This is not working for me. It's time for me to move on and get it together, and this is not it. But I was not thinking, oh, I'm going to go date my husband. No, I wasn't thinking that at all. I was thinking I got to get rid of the dead weight. That's all I was thinking of at the time,
oh,
and
so
get
he was
refocused.
showing up. I love this comment. Learn Biz, the podcast, says, this is giving me the Link's marriage story. If y'all don't know what we talking about, I had a great interview called God Found My Wife. And this is sounding almost as like out there, not really, which I say happily ever after, but very, very just messy. I don't want to say your life is messy. I'm just saying there's a lot that goes into people's relationships that you think are married in 27 years, and it was just like Cinderella, and it's not. So
Mm-mm.
I agree with that comparison. Thank you, Learn Biz, the podcast. So all of a sudden, so you were paying attention to him, but you weren't really paying attention to him until he started acting like, whoa, I got you, sis. I got you, babe. So
Basically.
after these very harrowing events, did you like, how did you get rid of old dead weight and start to focus on who becomes, I won't say that, but the person who was stalking you, it sounds like. How did you kind of get past this and start to really form a relationship, as you're saying, because he was just there for me? I had never had nobody show up protecting me that kind of way. This was different. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research. So how did you transition from like, okay, from this very what should I say, physical protection type love or interest or desire to like something more?
So that after the cousins showed up, that was it. It was no more from him. So that was a done deal. That was pretty simple at that point. So then my husband and I had just started hanging out, not just as the school bus group, but separately. So the funny thing is that me hanging out with him at his house means the other guy sees it, because they lived across the street from one another. But I just started hanging out with him at his house, and because he lived with his mother, and I was still with my girlfriend's household. So it was just, we just hung out at each other's houses basically.
Oh wow. So that's kind of heavy. You still got to know him. How old were you when this was happening?
I guess, well, he lied to me about how old he was. He didn't want me to know how young he was, but I'd say 20.
Oh, so y'all were babies still.
Yes.
So you were about 22, he was about 20.
I was 20
So
and
he was about 18.
I was 20. He told me that he was like 21, 22, something around there. And then I found
Oh,
out after we were married, I said, this don't what? And found out that he was actually 2 years younger than me.
this is early stage love.
Yeah.
Wow. This is early stage. I thought I was picturing 24-year-olds and 25-year-olds. This is very early
Mm-hmm.
stage love. So
Mm-hmm.
this is almost, you leave college and you're really looking for stability.
Yes.
And you find someone, you had to take a job, had to leave school, had to pay bills, had to figure out your life, and met someone who provided, like you said, the protector and some form of stability for your life,
Yes.
and thought, okay, I can build a life with him. I guess that's why some of y'all, we've been hearing a lot on the Manosphere talking about getting married early, because it's almost like before you even know yourself, we both foolish, men and women are both foolish enough to like just give it a try and learn to grow with one another. So I think this is a good example of that. So I didn't know any, like I said, I'm getting to know the story. I purposely did not have her say nothing so I could learn it when we spoke together with you who are watching. All right. So you decide to take it more seriously. The hater is still across the street. He's still with his mama. It makes sense. He's still with his mama. He's young. So you guys are dating. You still working on finding your own place. He's still trying to like figure that out. So how did it get serious, or who made that decision?
Oh, well, I made the decision to be serious, of course. And then we were hanging out a lot. We're at each other's house. I actually ended up living with another family. I was basically their nanny. They had 4 kids, so I basically took care of their kids in order to stay with them. And that wasn't a great situation. It was a husband and wife and 4 kids. But I love those kids so much. You get attached to kids when you take care of them. And when that started to get a little crazy and I was ready to go, but I was like, I really don't want to go back and live with my girlfriend's family anymore. That's when we, started discussing us living together. So we just said, let's live together.
So you
And
took the plunge. You were young enough where it was like, okay, we don't have no standard of living. We don't have no lifestyle. We gonna do this. So he wanted to get out of his mama's house. You want to get out of, where you had been before, taking the au pair job. So you decide to move in together. So this is before anybody pops the question, how long had you been with this gentleman?
I would say maybe, well, we'd known each other for a while. Maybe we were officially seeing each other for maybe 6 months. So we already knew each other because we worked together. So maybe 6 months.
Okay, so you had a prior friendship from the job, so it doesn't
Yes.
feel like a short time if you've been dating 6 months because you
Yes.
knew him a little bit.
Yes.
I've seen that happen too, where people are like, "Well, you guys have only been together under a year," but if you have been friends with the person, you've been getting to know them prior to the actual "I go with you, do you go with me?" questions.
Absolutely.
So you move in. So you decide to move in.
No, we did not move in. No one would rent to us because we had no credit because we were so young.
So what happened? How did you guys cement that?
I said, we should have a baby.
What?
He said, okay.
Wow.
So we got pregnant.
Y'all can't even see my face. I was like, really?
Yes.
Y'all was young. Oh, you were like, oh, okay, I love you. Let's have this baby. Wow.
I said, that's the only, and I always knew I wanted children. So I just want to put that out there. Is a little sooner than maybe I wanted to. But I said, we need a co-signer. No one's going to help us unless we have a reason to have to be together. I said, we should have a baby.
Oh, so in order to get them to rent to you, to see you as a family.
In order to get someone to co-sign for us, that's what we needed. And that's what we did.
So when people, your loved ones say, oh, they have a family, they need a place to stay. We can't put a baby out on the street. I got it. So you had to make that move. Looking back at it, would you do that again?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm just trying to get the insight. And I was trying to think, why would she think like that at 22, 22? I'm thinking, okay, you were an au pair. You did love children. You found a man that you thought from his actions could be your husband. And you were like, but we need to live together now because I ain't got no place to stay. You ain't got no place to stay. We're going to make this happen. It couldn't happen. Well, I know I want to be with him anyway. Let me have a baby with him. Was he excited about having a child?
He's very, what is the word? He doesn't necessarily show
emotion
like that, but he's just like, okay. And so I said, okay.
Okay, so you had a baby, someone co-signed for you, you start living together.
Yes.
Start living together. Okay, so tell me what happens on the road to marriage. Who pops the question, and what was it like living together with a baby at 20, 22 years old?
On the road to being pregnant and before the baby came, I said, I will not play anybody's baby's mama. I said, so you would want to make a decision on whether you would like to marry me or not. I'll be waiting for your answer.
What? Hold up.
So he proposed.
Hold up. So I'm just trying to get the rules and what can apply to other people's lives. So let me just make sure I understand. So
I
you
would not
told,
recommend this to anyone else.
that's what I'm
I'll tell you,
like. Do you,
remember,
I
this is
want
the
to,
90s.
okay, so this is the 90s, guys.
Yes.
So the ultimatum stuff, I'm like, I don't think people really doing ultimatums like that no
Right.
more at all. So you gave him an ultimatum, and I think because, and this is more why I think on the manosphere specifically, there's a lot of talk about getting married early for women, anyway, not for men, but for women, because I kind of agree. Not that I am not of the faith that people can get married anytime.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder, but people can get married older or more mature. But I do think, especially for men looking back, I think when men are closer to who they are coming out of their parents' homes and who they were raised by, I think many of them have not, same thing I guess men will say about women, have not been hurt, still follow the kind of like guidelines that they were raised with in terms of good moral character and paying attention to inner strength and beauty, not just external. And after you've been out in the world, after you've been hurt, it's harder to connect those dots. You're trying to protect yourself. You looking at, she gonna be my wife, but I'm gonna have to protect myself against her too because she might get me. You know that mentality.
Yeah.
I call it not the lion, but the lion. Like you over here trying to protect yourself. So your significant other didn't really have the time to develop those type of defenses. I think he was looking at it more so like, I like this shit. Anybody would go to the gas station to go fight people and get ready to defend one's honor, I think is of a different mindset anyway. So you say to him, we got pregnant, but you finna marry me, basically. And he did.
Yes.
So was there any proposal?
Yes. Yes. When I was, this is while I was pregnant, before we even
Oh,
moved into any place. And so I had, he was visiting while I was in the bed in the house that I had lived in at the time. And that's when I was like, um, this is what it is. You let me know what you want to do. And I'll be here waiting. And
wow.
I don't
Hmm.
know what he did afterwards, but he came back with a ring and said, "Will you marry me?" And I said, "I will."
All right, I'm gonna ask you at the end of this, and when we invite people up to update things that you might do differently, if this were a present day scenario, because like I think some of this is very good, but very specific to that time. Like
Absolutely.
I think it was very 90s in a sense
Absolutely.
for who people were and how people responded when given this kind of like ultimatum. Okay, I'm gonna go get a ring. I think I have big cousins that did that. Like that women told them like, what up? Put up or shut up. And they were like, okay. And they went along and they did that. I don't think necessarily there are men that are going to necessarily respond that way here and now who are like the ages of
Agree.
maybe 30 to 50. I don't know if that still applies, but it's good to understand how, your story unfolded. So while you were pregnant,
Hmm.
when y'all was getting ready to move in and have this baby, you gave him the ultimatum and he was like, awesome. All right, cool. So I'll ask you this, and this might be a loaded question because I've had a discussion with this with my cousin. I have several cousins, guys. I come from a big family, so I say cousin, but I have tons. So one of the things that we have discussed is women who are raised in a kind of more economically challenged scenario, like like what you describe yourself being after having a great childhood, great caregivers at 17, 18, being said, oh, I'm done, go ahead and figure out life. And so you're in an economically very challenging and precarious situation.
Hmm.
And my cousin said to me, because she grew up like that, she grew up in Jamaica. She had a very much different life than I had. I love her to death. But she said to me when we're discussing about people wanting to get married and being married, she said to me, she's like, Sue, y'all who had this great American, because everybody thinks everybody has the best life in America. People don't know that people struggle in America too. We have streets of gold apparently, and I don't know, Skittles coming out of the clouds. But she says to me, and we were just having a discussion at one of our holidays. We got to um, just reasoning, chatting. And she says, Sue, when women are brought up in a way or have a circumstances when they are economically deprived, challenged, precarious, on the edge, they look at marriage totally different from women who have a more settled or a more stable and very comfortable lifestyle. for folks who are more so in the dire straits of life when it comes to money, marriage is seen as a tool and a much more um, a larger priority to women who grew up in difficult circumstances and don't have nothing. Just put it like that. With love, and I don't. It's not a judgment; it's observation that based on this conversation we were having.
Mm-hmm.
So she was saying that I would have been married had I grown up in the hood, looking how I look, speaking how I speak, or having the similar, education. If I had a struggle or survival instinct that had to, or I had a survival story that had to, be addressed. She said, when you guys who are up here, y'all educated, y'all have good parents, you're good to go. You're not looking at marriage as the same kind of like necessity. Would
Mm.
you agree with that? And do you think even now in present day, this is something that is true? Do you agree with it? And do you think it's still true now?
I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that. I think people with money get married. I think race plays a part in it. That's just my 2 cents. That's just what I think. Because white people get married, period. That's what they do. And
Absolutely.
they're
Yeah.
going to continue their legacies. They're going to be in college looking for who their husbands are going to be and things of that nature. I think that I don't know. Like I'm not gonna act like I was destitute because I wasn't. I had the safety, thank God, of a family. I had a
Okay.
safety of
Mm-hmm.
good friends.
Mm-hmm.
I was not in any type of dire situation at all. It was
Got it.
me. I
Got it.
didn't want to be that anymore. I didn't want to depend on there's the independent woman right there. I did not want to depend on these people, this family. I don't want to wear out my welcome. I don't want
Yeah.
to become a burden. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
people to say, geez, when's she leaving? Like, I didn't want that. That's
So you had
me.
like a sense of pride, not
Yes,
because it was like a
yes,
terrible situation.
yes, yes.
Understood.
And
Understood.
I could still be living there today. I swear to you, I go over there many times. My children are a part of their lives as well. It's just an extended
Family.
family.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I just want to make everyone
Yeah.
understand I was not in any like
Mm-hmm.
dire situation at
And
all.
thank
I
you for
was good.
clarifying that. I didn't
Yes, I was
mean to
good.
like put that on you. As hearing the story, it forced me to recall that conversation. So thank you for clearing up where you were.
Mhm,
Not to say I was characterizing you.
mhm,
Sorry,
mhm,
but just to clarify that. So you're saying that wasn't me.
mhm.
However, do you think that still is a contributing factor? So you started by saying, well, white folks of all economic backgrounds get married. Or actually probably except for probably the very poor or very economically challenged.
Yeah,
But
the upper echelon, they
upper
definitely.
echelons get
Hmm.
married and
Hmm.
they have it as a priority day
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
They understand it as like this is what we do. There's value in it, etc.
yes.
So do you think there is an economic for us, for people of color, black people, do you think there is an economic role that it plays in terms of our decision making, whether we come from money or come from middle classness, or whether we come from um, an impoverished beginning? Do you think that has an impact in the long term of how we see marriage and whether we will get married or not?
In 1990,
Mm-hmm.
90s,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Yes.
In 2022, I don't know what the hell is going on, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't understand any of it. I just, I don't
You
know
like,
any.
I can't give you that assessment. No, we, like I said, we had a deep conversation. I think it might even been during Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
where she was just like, Sue, y'all too comfortable. Y'all had it all. Y'all had the nice lifestyle, and y'all had, just a comfortable upbringing. So nobody
I
is
did.
stressed. Nobody's looking at a man as a way out. Not saying that you were, but it was just an observation. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on it. If you have any
But
thoughts. Mhm.
even when I was like when I was in high school, I was still looking for a boyfriend. I was still looking for a man.
Yeah.
That's just I'm like the relationship. That's just my nature, I guess, is to be in a relationship. So from high school when the floodgates open, I will say, because
Yeah.
really when you're in elementary and school, you
No,
like
you're
people,
not thinking that.
nothing.
When puberty hits, when you guys started
Yeah.
thinking, "Ooh, boys are cute," Wagwan. So you that button was most of your friends like that as well, or did you stand out in that way, or were you pretty much around women, around girls at the time, teenagers that thought like this?
Just my best friend. It's just me and
Mm,
her. So
road
yeah,
dog.
yes.
We gonna get us a man. Let's go. Well, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Again, it's not no judgment. I'm always trying to figure out how people tick. I see you. Queen Regina says, I've never been married on purpose. I grew up in a two-parent home. I love my mother and my father, but I did not love their marriage. Interesting. So maybe there's another side of that coin that my question kind of does not take into consideration. Obviously, there everybody with a two-parent household, hello, is not, a bed of roses. They
Nope.
got problems too, in other
Yep.
words. So maybe you could be in a loving two-parent household that you did not like.
Hmm.
One that provided, one that did what it was supposed to do in terms of economics, but had a lot of emotional baggage or took an emotional toll on you. I get you, sis. I get you, sis. So there is not a like I don't want to paint like a panacea that all middle class and upper class is doing one thing and impoverished people, because there are folks that get married and they just in love from various socioeconomic backgrounds. I just posed a question. Thank you. Doug says, I don't know what y'all talking about. I was looking for girlfriends since kindergarten. Let's see the guys. That's so funny. That's so funny. I'm gonna start dropping the link. But I'm interested in like what your staying power has been. Someone ask her about her ups and downs and her adventures in her marriage. I'll go back to that comment. Let me drop the link and invite whoever want to come up, comment, add their own story. This is a very interesting story she has shared. Here's the StreamYard link in the chat. But yeah, I'm very curious as to what you guys have experienced. Is there anything else you want to say as you started to develop the relationship and get married? What was it like during the early years of your marriage as a young couple with a child?
It was not easy. It was very stressful. It's learning how to live with someone, and we did not get married till after the baby was born. That was my choice. I said I didn't want to, I wanted to have a wedding. I'm not even going to act like I did not. But I did that within 6 months after she was born. So there was learning how to be married. There was learning how to raise a kid. There was learning how to bring finances together. There was learning how to just understand that you have to learn each other in order to live together effectively. And we did not do well with that initially. It was chaos. I'm not even going to front like that. But we had the support, thankfully, of our the family I told you that I was living with, his mother even, and just friends and family who were there to thankfully help us, support us. My girlfriend's parents have been married forever. I don't even know how long. So, they have a lot of advice or had a lot of advice at the time. Um, Her father would come and grab my husband and give him a talk. Her mother would come to me, or I would go to her. I probably was going to her, to be perfectly honest with you. And she would say what she had to say. I didn't know how to be somebody's take care of a baby. I had postpartum depression. That was the worst on top of it all. It was very stressful. But we figured it out, and we moved out after a year into another apartment. And then a year after that, we bought our first house. So we we worked through a lot.
I'm excited. That's beautiful. And again, when you start at those earlier stages, that's the beauty of it. You guys are growing together and you are learning each other and you are learning to be a wife. And what I hear there is that you also had a lot of mentorship. You had a lot of people who you could call on to
Yeah.
say, he ain't acting right. Why? I
Yes.
don't like how he talked to me. Why? I need to understand why he does this or why she does that. And so you had from this extended family that you had been living with from college days, beautiful grown-ups, very mature folks who you could bounce ideas off of. I think that's important for any married couple outside of just your parents. I
Hmm.
think that village concept of who and how you keep a marriage going is super important, because we are especially coming out into the game at 2022. Those years, you're like a baby almost in this marriage game, quite frankly, in life. So what lessons have you learned? Tell me some lessons you've learned from being married.
Um, well, I would say and this can go along for anyone. This is just not the 90s. I would not change a thing. I don't regret anything that we did. I think it was the best decision for us. We have learned to financially help each other. We have been able to support each other through good and bad, because there's been plenty more bad. It hasn't been all roses, but I think we just make the decision to work through it, figure it out, and keep going. Because one thing that plays in the back of my head, that has always been in the back of my head, is that I want to be like my grandmother, my great grandmother. And I want to say that I've been married for 27 years. And at some point, I would like to say I've been married for 36 years. And at some point, I would like to say that I've been married for 50 some years. That's just
fantastic. Oh, Lord of mercy. I just lost an auntie. Shout out to my family in Jamaica they were married at 47 years.
wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it's my mom's first cousin, but we call them aunts and uncles. But just thinking about, like, what does a life look like when you've been with someone for 47 years after they pass? I think about love, and I'm like, oh, it's so good to love somebody, and then God, we have to lose them. This is not the hard part of the reality of just life, of what life is about. Let me ask you this. I don't know, Mr. Untouchable, touch it. Y'all come on up. If you want to come on up, this is the time. Having a conversation with YouTuber Miss Michonne Denyse, and she's been married 27 years, met her husband nice and early, lesson, and also wanting to share just her journey, how she did it. And I think people are curious about your marriage life and how you've been able to navigate some of the challenges there. Mr. Untouchable says, what about the nagging factor? Woo, why we got to be? Is it in a woman's nature? Is it in a woman's nature? Is that something that is present in your home? How do you handle that?
It's not present now, but in the beginning it absolutely was, because I thought that you should do what I say. He thought you should do what I say, and nobody was listening. So it was like this. And that's where the support of the other people who were married, mind you, that said, because my mother-in-law was married at the time, and my girlfriend's parents, obviously they were married as well, that they say, no, that's not how this works. You need to fall back, you need to calm down. He's not this, she's not that. And counsel, like you had said, it was a lot of support. I'm telling you. And having people around you who are married makes a difference. Because even though my girlfriend was in college and she's still living her college life, she graduated after 4 years. She came out, she found her husband, she was married within 2 years after college. So that's still yet another
Wow
staple of support, around, not support, but me supporting her at that point, because it's like, I've already been married. You can't tell me you. But
Lord.
but she was you know, that's what she wanted, and she did what she had to do in a different way than me. And that's just who I happen to be around, I guess. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it definitely makes a difference. The single people keep people single rhyme is absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Say it again. So single people keeping people single, and being around married people help you get married?
No, I'm just saying, single people keep people single. That's all I'm saying.
What
If
does that mean?
I think,
define it one more time the way you mean it. Mm-hmm.
so if I had been going through these things, this is what I believe, and my friends were single that I was speaking about,
Oh, they're
saying
telling you the
he
wrong
didn't
thing.
watch her, he didn't change her diaper, he came home at this time, he didn't give me money, it would have been like, you need to leave him. I didn't have that. I have one girlfriend, and that's the same one that I have today.
But y'all listening to single people when you married is a problem. That's what you're saying. The challenge is not
I think it is.
Get bad advice from the single people who
it is.
are looking at it. And even maybe that could apply to dating, because that has happened to me a couple of times where I have asked, like, as I go on a date or two, kind of feeling a guy, not sure. And then I ask a married friend and I ask a single friend what they think about the circumstances. And I get two totally different takes on what to do or what the man intended by what he said, how he said it. And I feel
Yes.
like sometimes I got to be very careful because who I ask, because it is a contrast between how the married person was like, nah, he don't mean nothing by that. He's trying to show you he's a leader. He's trying to show you this, that, and the single person would be like, oh, no, that's disrespect. Don't write back this person has a problem or whatever. And they're like, wow, it does matter who you're getting your information and your advice from. So I agree with that. So single people giving single advice, even to married people, is, I don't know, giving other single people advice, it could be very, very, very daunting. I see him in the back, Uncle Stu coming up to lend a hand. Let me see what the kids produce from 20 to Queen Regina, just reading your comment. Would the kids produce from from a 20 to 50-year long marriage be mentally whole? I was not. Oh wow. So how many kids do you have? Can I ask you that? Is that off the table?
No, I have 2 daughters and 3 grandchildren.
Okay, fantastic. So you've lived and done well, I would just say. Just to be around 27 years ain't no joke. So we gonna bring up Uncle Stu, gonna add to the conversation. Hey, Uncle Stu, the old man on the
Hey,
block.
Uncle Stu.
How are y'all? How are y'all? First of all, I just want to say I am honored and thankful for letting me up on your panel and being able to speak to your guests. So, shout out to you. A lot of times I don't get over here because, I got my own podcast. So
Yes,
it's a time zone situation. So,
we be busy.
and I got one tonight, but I said, okay, I got to answer to Suzette because she said something real good.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for coming over. And I'll be
Yes.
on Uncle Stu. Uncle Stu, is it next week or the week after? I'm gonna be on your show. I'm gonna be on Uncle Stu's show on the
Girl, y'all know it's going to be on the 25th.
25th. I'm gonna be visiting with Uncle Stu. So tell us what you think, Uncle Stu. What you got? What were your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is, and I'm going based on what you just said about
Yes.
how to vet a man, and I think that's what's missing in that is that men can only validate men, and I feel that if you don't have married men or men that has been married, and let's say, and this is going to be a sensitive statement, married and well-heeled men, they can vet a man. I think too many women is taking men around women and they're already broke, hurt, disgusted, can't stand a man already. Mm-hmm. And too many times from what I have seen thus far, especially younger women, they have taken on this mindset that is almost impossible to even think about. They're not men. I'm sorry, Steve Harvey lied to you. You can never think like us. You don't understand us in certain regards. And so it only takes a man that can be able to say, hey, this is what this man means. This is his purpose. These are the good parts that you need to look at. Yeah. These are the parts in which he is developing. These are the parts we understand ourselves. And therefore, too many women is running around and not surrounding themselves with men that can vet men. I am unapologetic. So let me help the sisters in the back. You're talking to a black man that loves his black mother. Let me get that real quick. Love his black mother. Had married one black woman, remarried another black woman, raised 4 black daughters, and 3 of my daughters is married before the age of 30. So let me shut all of them points down real quick. Real quick.
Shut it down.
I love it.
So
been there, done that.
It's a work that needs to be done. And then the question of the day has to be, do I really want to be married? And do I qualify for the man that I want to be married to? This ain't a talking point. You don't choose me. I choose you.
I said it at the beginning, Uncle. So you're right. Men are the gatekeepers to marriage. I agree with that. 100%.
And therefore, when women stop going around thinking I am the prize, I am the one, you'll pass the lie. So do I need to give scripture? So let me break it down. The scripture says, when a man finds, that means he's seeking. So if he don't find you, It ain't because, oh baby, you know, they just didn't appreciate who you are. No, that's because in you wasn't a wife, it was a knife.
Mm.
And I don't want to be married to a knife. I want to be married to a wife. It was because you wasn't my rib, because the Bible says, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Yeah. Evidently, you ain't the bone, and you definitely ain't the flesh. So, and we tend to forget. See, I'm not one of them apologetic, I need your tithes and your offering pastors, so I'm going to appease your emotional insensibilities. I'm going to give it to you rough, rugged, raw, and real. And the bottom line is that a woman that is already purposed in her life to understand who she is as a woman, then she'll know her divineness. Stop looking for a Boaz and go look for a Naomi. But the problem is you don't want a Naomi, because a Naomi might be like this woman up here who is married with some sustainability. No, I want to go to the broke, busted women that don't know how to find a man, keep a man, have a man, talk to a man. And that's the one you want to hang around. Do you want to say, oh my God, there ain't enough good men? Sorry, ladies. The game has changed.
Absolutely. No, I'm hearing you, Uncle Stu. I'm hearing you, because a lot of us don't have the Naomi in our lives. Help us, oh God. A lot of us are listening to.
Actually, one of the reasons I started the channel, to be able to speak to young ladies that, you know, want to hear a married person's, woman's perspective. Also, I try to give a little lady lesson at the end of the reaction as it applies, you know, just to be there, kind of like when Monique, you know, came out and said what she said, and to listen, mentor, and people are like, well, they need somebody to listen to. I'm like, well, who are they gonna listen to? Monique is married. She's married. So I'm confused. But I said that's what I want to do. So I'm here for that purpose.
I guess what I'll say at this point is let us collaborate, because I got some issues that I'm going to take deep dives in. I'm going to take this. I'm about to shut down one of the biggest arguments I'm hearing on YouTube. And the biggest argument I'm getting ready to tackle is, since you've been around, you know who Eddie Long is, so you know of probably some of his literature. But I'm about to take one of his literature and flip it. I want every lady to know, I love my mama, but I don't love you. So stop saying that because a black man don't love you, he don't love his mama. You ain't his mama. That's why he don't love you. Okay, I'm gonna get quiet now, because I'm on
Uncle Stu jumping. Uncle Stu didn't come over here to play. Y'all see his name. Y'all hold on. Everybody's like, yes, Uncle Stu, yes, yes, yes. I think you have a lot of wisdom when it comes to understanding what men do and why they do it. We listen to some of the wrong people, and that includes hurt men. That includes some hurt men. But oftentimes we're going to women who don't have the life experience and don't have the heart change, as you're saying, the healed heart to be able to guide us. They're going by, and some of them don't want to see you with no man. Some of them don't want to see you happy. I have been there too, where I have to be like, oh, homegirl, you trying to go after the same guy I'm going after. Maybe I won't share anymore with you because you're confused. You have other issues. So that happens too. But beyond that, I would definitely say that this is what we're here to do, open up the conversation, because people do not hear from happily married people often enough. It's always, you know, kind of like, I don't know, just one side of the story. Either you're about to get divorced or you're going to do bad all by yourself, because that's the better way. And that we don't really talk about or promote the benefits. There's a reason why our white counterparts get married at such higher rates. They understand the benefits. When we talk about rebuilding the Black community, if we don't like start to marry, it's going to be very difficult to do. I know, again, I try to first think about how would a healed Black community look? What would it take to get there? But oftentimes, again, it just starts with relationships inside of yourself. Hello, my channel. But then understanding where the wisdom, where you can actually find wisdom. I hear you with a lot of preachers, and I've heard it said by the manosphere that the preacher don't even really want you to be married. I'm not saying that. I didn't say it. I'm saying I've heard it.
Come to my channel and I'll tell you why.
I can't say it.
I got a degree in theology.
But that there's a lot of where I think the core message of this could be like really helping people to heal and seek marriage again early, and even in the summer and the falls and the winters of life. I'm not hearing it. I see in churches, and again, y'all can disagree, drop it in the chat. We emphasize the singles ministry, the marriage ministry, but the real teaching outside of, like you say, find your Boaz. First of all, as you say, and I'll just add this: you said when a man finds, I mean he's looking. Not every man who's trying to find is really looking yet for the wife. And I think I mean I want to shout out the YouTubers who are giving game on that too, to say he could be knocking at your door, but is he trying to be a husband? That's a reality of the situation. There are some frogs out there that some of us are looking in the eyes of frogs. And we're saying to ourselves, wow, they're doing us wrong. They're hurting us. They're doing this. But we also have to be wise in how we move. But when we do find, I don't want to call it the princes, but just to use the Disney analogy, we can't be throwing them away. We can't be doing them wrong. And we have to be ready for them. Help me, oh God. We have to be ready for them.
Because stop friend zoning them.
Say again?
I got to put it down. Stop friend zoning your husband because somebody else will take him.
Facts.
Okay. Stop friend zoning your husband.
Stop friend zoning these people.
And then I want to also go, all the women, they ran around and got this book called The 5 Love Languages. Yes. I'm just going to drop this mic and maybe one of y'all can answer the question. You ready? Do you really know the love language of a man? Because half of you think you know our love language. But I'm a man. Do you know my love language? And a lot of you hasn't taken the time to be intimate enough. What is intimacy? Enter into me and see. So a lot of times what you think you hearing is vitriol. What you think you hearing is hurt. What you think you hearing is anger is really just a man who is stating his purpose and stating a standard. Did not the Bible teach us raise up the standard? And so when black men has risen up the standard, are you mad because now you don't meet the standard? You said back in the early 90s, and I have a sister, I presume you're definitely not in the millennials, but back in my days, they said that the standard was that we wasn't supposed to be the dusties. We was not supposed to be nobody who didn't care about God. We was not supposed to be broke, busted, and disgusted. Well, let me give a revelation. We answered the call. Now you got more black millionaires than I've ever seen in my lifetime. You got more black male billionaires than I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm sorry. You got more black college educated men than I've ever seen in my lifetime. You got black men who is now raised up into the middle class on their own than I've ever seen in my lifetime. So my question of the day is, if I am saying that my brothers has leveled up, how much more leveling do they have to do before you level up? Because my understanding is my black brothers said they like it natural. Now, I grew up where we wanted the natural. So who is telling you to wear the long hair? I think we talked about this before. Why are you wearing fake hair, fake nails, fake eyes, fake boo, got a fake anointing, serve a fake God, but you want a real man? Can y'all make that make sense?
Uncle Stu bringing the lyrics. I hear you, Uncle Stu. I hear you.
I mean, if y'all can, please come to my channel and just talk to me, because I've been waiting on somebody to answer these questions, because that is what my men are saying. And y'all doing this push back, clap back, act back, and then you turn around and say, "Why I ain't got no man?" Hello.
I think we both need to level up. I agree with you 100%. As I'm listening to you, I'm validating all that you were saying, because I hear you. There was a big push, particularly in those 90s, early 2000s. Where the black man at? Where the black man at? They just ain't doing what they supposed to do. And now I think we have to be very conscientious about I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for all black women, but be very conscientious about the decisions we are making. And we're not, I believe, even aware that we are making certain decisions. That's why I wanted to start this conversation about marriage and how to marry and when to marry and who to marry, because oftentimes I think by staying out in the dating pool for as long as we can. And again, that's not everybody. I have a different story. It's not even really my story, but I'm going with the largest amount of, I guess, what is popular knowledge, that people stay out here and want to date forever. They are also, when we don't, like, I look at my friends who had children, as Michelle and Denyse did early. I think they were able to build stronger foundations than people that wait. I'm not saying that it's for everybody. I'm not saying everybody's going to have the same story or one is less. I'm just saying the foundations of even my colleagues and friends who had babies even in high school, looking at them in their turning into their 30s, they have more wealth as opposed to one person trying to build by themselves. And as again, I'm not advocating teen pregnancy, please, God. I'm not advocating any of this stuff, but I'm just trying to sit back and look at what's going on and looking around, like, actually, those people who had early marriage and early babies, it wasn't as detrimental as we were taught. Maybe it was for our fathers or our grandfathers' generation. Maybe you were outcast. Maybe you were going to be, shunned and the most, horrible stain on your family. But attitudes and social, structures have changed such that oftentimes younger marriage now is actually very helpful. So again, it's just a different model. I'm not saying it's one size fits all. I'm not advocating that that's the only way to be. I haven't lived that. Right.
We actually, and that's what we did, is we built together. We didn't have any money. Not only with everything else, we had no money, none.
Yeah, exactly. But you learn one another, and you had to have each other's back. And the melding and the bonding took place because y'all ain't have nothing. But now, well, we got a little something, and they got a little something. Oh, you scared of me? I'm scared of you. You ain't gonna take what I got. I ain't gonna take what you got. And it's coming from both sides, and it makes it very, very difficult sometimes to kind of just let the guard down. It's not like I'm supposed to be, worried about you, like not being able to trust you. You are my leader,
right?
And hopefully I'm your follower to a certain extent. Everybody get nervous when they hear that, submissive.
But you know what? Can I say something? They need to hear that from you. You said it right. They need to, and you need to say it with the power and the authority God gave you. Because here is the thing about you, and that's what women don't hear. You don't pick up the garbage of the past. I've never heard you say, well, I'm broken because my great grandmama. Like, how are you taking on your grandparents' experience and making it your own? They need to hear from you, even though you're not married yet. Hallelujah. They need to hear from you to say, I'm a Black woman. Yes, I'm a lawyer. Yes, I'm successful. Yes, ladies, I'm all that. But I am not afraid to humble myself and submit to a man that's going to lead me. Because yes, I'm a lawyer, but I'm kind of tired of the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Hello.
I'm kind of tired of getting out here and have to do everything. You know what, ladies? I made some mistakes. Don't make the mistakes I made. I went after this college degree. I ran after this career. And you know what? It ain't all that in a bag of chips.
Right.
The money is good, but I'm tired of going home alone.
Hey, don't step on my toes.
Hey, I got to be raw. Because if I'm saying to women, listen, I got a platform where I show you all the good men. I show you them from 26 all the way up to 56. I show you all the good men. I don't surround myself with the less than. I show you the good men. So don't keep lying about there ain't no good men, because I show them to you. I don't have all that cussing and fussing on my platform. So don't sit up there and say, well, no manosphere men, they don't allow women on their platform. I dispelled that in it.
Oh, there's so much I see somebody else in the back too. Hold on, let me bring her up. Wagwan, added to the stream now. Nice to see you.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome. Oh, we got a beautiful heated discussion tonight. Welcome. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I am also an attorney, Suzette. I think we met a long time ago.
I know. I'm like, all right, here we go.
But I've definitely been enjoying these conversations because I am not married. I'm in a relationship, but I'm not married. So when we have these conversations, it's really interesting to listen to the different perspectives. And I'm so glad Uncle Stu is on here. I'm so glad Mashawn is on here because it gives me a lot of things to process.
Absolutely. And I didn't know you were YouTubing. That's why I'm like, hey.
I'm slowly working on it. I'm starting to follow folks in the YouTube world because I'm realizing it's like other social media where there's like worlds of people.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this
A whole
is
nother world.
Suzette, you've hit on something.
Awesome.
You've
Well,
hit on
thank you.
something
Let's
that's
get your
really,
thoughts. What are
really
you
amazing.
thinking? Appreciate that, sis. And what are you thinking as you've been listening tonight? Go ahead.
I'm thinking that I appreciate where we are right now because I feel like we're having discussions. We're having conversations. I know that there are segments of the YouTube space where people are attacking, the men are attacking the women are attacking the men, but I'm seeing more and more folks popping up who are having the discussions, who are doing what Uncle Stu is doing and being real about it. No sugarcoating. Let's get to the point. Let's try to build up these relationships so people can learn. And I love that. I think there's so much that we can learn from each other if we actually listen and if we actually take it to heart and don't take offense.
I agree with you. So tell me about your take in terms of the state of marriage. You say you're in a serious relationship. Are you looking to get married? I thank you, Doug. Got me under the microscope. I see you, Doug. Thank you pretty much. Some Breeze asks, "LOL, it would be nice to make sure your man had a purpose, Lord, with a plan of action for the future family, provider, protector, and money." This is important. But I'd like to also
this.
Go ahead. And I was going to go back to something that Michonne said, but go ahead. Go ahead, Uncle Stu.
The question is, it says, it would be nice to make sure your man has a purpose with a plan of action. The question is, do you want to get on his plan and are you willing to do the action and the work that it takes? See, I'm not going to allow women to always dump all these philosophical ideas on the black man and then think they're going to run away. Because if the black man told you today, it's going to take 5 years to reach this particular goal, are you willing to be his secretary? Come on, let's stop capping. I told you, talking to a grown man.
I'm going to cut the coupons, Uncle Stu. I'm going to cut the coupons.
So can I just say something though for that comment, right? So just as an FYI, when we had our second child, my husband, he continued to be a driver, so not necessarily school buses, but he took that on to be his profession. And I've heard on many a stream people saying, "Would you date a garbage man?" He was a garbage man. He made wonderful money, and he does expanded the CDL into different things. Never overnight because he had a family. He said, "I would never be overnight. I have a family." But because he had to be up 5, 4, 3 in order to do those jobs, guess who had to have a 9 to 5? Me. That's an example of being on code and following, because I can't work 5 a.m. and you work 5 a.m. What we gonna do with these kids? So I had to make sure that my job was also one where I could be flexible when it came to, you got to go get them, they're sick, you got to take off. He didn't have that. And honestly, to this day, doesn't have that flexibility. In those careers, blue collar, you don't get sick time and all this vacation. I get like 6 weeks of everything. He gets 2. So I had to use all that and be that person. So that's something that I took care of just on instinct. No one had to tell me. Nobody had to argue with me. No one had to. So we grew into, you know what I mean? Adulthood, maturing, figuring it out, making the plans. What are we doing? And I think that that's what's missing in everything is just about money. Everything is money. Yeah. And there's just so much more than that.
And I'll add, go ahead, Uncle Stu. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly.
I just think that's the benefit of doing it young, because again, when you have a lifestyle, and I'm trying to figure out what to do now.
Yeah.
It's so hard because like when you're young and you can respect the fact that we are in a struggle, babe. Ain't nobody coming to save us. We don't even have anything. Like you said, y'all needed a co-signer. Y'all had a baby for a co-signer. Like that's major. That's when you really are like, I'm here with you. I just want to make it with you. And we're going to do whatever it takes to have one another's back. That is so rare.
Yeah, and she said it best. That's why I said I had to tackle that, because what is your plan? Because I'm in a position where I'm retired. I do YouTube out of my own personal investment. Could I've done YouTube 10, 15, 20 years ago,
You had to
trying to
work.
raise children? Could I sit up here and
Yeah.
have my own international business at certain
No.
times in my life? No, y'all got this fantasy that don't exist. A brother ain't gonna buy you a Birkin bag in one. I don't know where y'all coming up with these.
Uncle
This
Stu, say it again, because also when people meet people like me, let me get there. Thank you so much, Queen Regina, because Queen Regina, I didn't say it. Queen Regina says, with all her accolades, some man gonna still approach me like I'm the Foot Locker chick and be disrespectful. Now, I didn't say this. What I will say though is, I, as a person, have found it difficult for men to accept the fact that I too will step. The word might not be down, but temporarily step to a level where we got to start over, even if that's like the plan, so that we can build again. But a lot of men don't believe that. For some reason, I think many men, and the stereotype is that all women are going to get men that can keep them at home, or at least as far as surveys go. Most women believe that their man should make enough so that they can stay home. That's not always going to be the reality. That's just not
Suzette,
where
how many black
we are
women?
as a community.
How many black women in your profession say that? See, do you hear me saying, if you're not saying it, how do we know it? You keeping it in here. Let me
I
tell you,
believe it. I'm dead
I'm
serious
gonna
when it comes to
I'm
it.
gonna help the brothers so that they know I'm not capping.
No,
If I'm
because
making
but I believe
$40,000
that
a year,
if we gotta start an apartment, let's start an apartment. I can do that. If we gotta start doing this, we gotta start doing that for you to start and do what you're supposed to do. Go ahead, Uncle Stu. Go ahead and add.
but think about it. And this ain't capping. The average woman don't say that. Average brothers don't hear that. They say, "Oh, what does the professional woman say? I make $60,000. I bought a house. I got this. I. And I need a man that's making more than me, got more than me, or okay, they got to at least have partly me. And if they try to take on a man that's less, then they define it as, well, I just settle on him. So if we're not hearing truth, why should my men approach you? Why should a average, and I hate to say average because I come from the blue collar background. I'm a veteran. Why should a man approach you if he don't see and you don't say what it is? Who is the real Suzette?
No, listen, they assume Uncle Stu. We don't even get to talk about it, Uncle Stu. We don't even get to talk about it because they assume already I'm gonna be, I got a check they can't cash. They assume that. They don't understand, baby. I'll eat the canned soup. I ate the canned soup for lunch anyway because I'm trying to save money anyway. I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Let me ask you a question. What do you lead with?
Not the accolades.
Do you lead with Suzette, or do you lead with I am an attorney at law?
Uncle Stu, if I haven't learned anything from the manosphere, that's why I came on here. I wanted to show the other side of me. You see me dressed up in suits? No.
Why you think I got you coming on my platform so we can talk about Suzette?
We got to listen. This is why I came on here, because y'all think we only got one side and that the good girls or the whatever girls got their problem. Go ahead. You want to add Learn Biz, the podcast? Go ahead. You have anything to add?
I'm going to respond to Uncle Stu and say, you know what? I'm working on the leading with and shifting my focus. And I've been doing it for quite some time. I've been working a lot on myself and trying to understand that, my career, of course, is there, but it's not my whole life. And I've learned in the practice of law how much more important my personal life is, and trying to really, really get myself centered, because that's what prepares me for the path, not just knocking down the hours in my work. So I understand where you're coming from, but it's been a hard road.
Same revelation. The law book's not going to love you back. Same revelation. I look at the joy family brings me. I look at my cousins. I had this conversation with my cousins during pandemic. I'm like, boo, we got to have some babies. I have you because Auntie so-and-so had you. We have a firm foundation because we got all these cousins, because people reproduced, because people saw the joy in raising children. We've had these come to Jesus, and maybe I need to have more of them here, Uncle Stu, so they can hear my mentality And there are professional women that are not looking at this thing as in, well, you better come ready with the Birkin bag money. Y'all, most of y'all ain't got it. We get that. Like, I got that. I don't know how my sisters got it. My sister-in-law got it.
And I'm gonna tell you something. What she just said was extremely belittling to a black man.
Me?
No. When she said these men gonna look at you as a such and such, you talking to a grown man.
Oh, that we okay.
I feel that's a belittling statement. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because this is what I hear as a man. All of us ain't no good. And I just got on this platform and said, if you want to see a good man. So what she said is, I'm a blanket all of you black men. Y'all belittling. Y'all got little minds. You don't think. The only thing y'all know how to do is check off the boxes listening to one podcaster, or check off the boxes listening to this. And that is the conversation that I will destroy every single time. You know why? Because the first thing that I say to anybody on my platform, women cam up. Women, here's a good man. Women, come on up. Let's have the intellectual conversation. Just look at my last live. I couldn't get any woman to come on, with the exception of one, when I said with all boldness, hey, since y'all claim that black men don't protect you, come on up. Let's have a conversation. I can't get the conversation. I'm challenging any woman to go down my page and see if I got the word 3 or 4 up there, or if I got the word dusty up there, or if I got any of these derogatory terms that belittles women. And if I hated women, and I'm sitting up there saying, hey, Suzette, let's have let's talk. Hey, I'm getting ready to try to collab with a married woman. If I'm trying to do all of that with women,
yes.
How dare you continue to
marginalize and paint with a broad brush? I hear you. Right. I hear you. I hear you.
Why do you not think that I couldn't get a black man to say, hey man, you single? I got a lawyer in Florida. She ready to get hooked up right now. And we ain't playing these. He ain't gonna talk about no 5 years. Hey, take this plane, go down to see because we coming to Florida and we're gonna have a nice lunch. And you gonna get
see what's popping. Queen Regina, he don't mean nothing by it. She talking about he gonna have to lower his vote. Okay.
See,
point taken.
But I love what she's, and see, women need to hear that. What you said. And
I'm not saying, so Uncle Stu, it ain't cap. This is the thing. Yeah. I truly, and my assessment in the life I've lived and understanding, looking back at my parents now, having truly evaluated the relationships I've seen modeled and what it took to survive coming to America, and the times when my mom had to work when my dad lost his job and back and forth and whatever, who balanced the household. That is reality to me. That's why I'm doing this. I want something that's flexible, residual income, and something that I enjoy that don't take over my life the way law does. So I'm in my heart, I am like recalibrating, and I hope people will believe us. Thank you, Learn Biz, the podcast, and believe us when we say we see right now what it is. We've been hurt. We've been hurt by the career choice, but not. I don't want to say it in the way that is like I feel like it was all a loss. But we've had to, and I think that you said it best, Learn Biz, was rebalance and recalibrate. We got Michonne back. Thank you. I was like, hey girl, I know we're keeping you over time, but I'll be still.
I was like, where did you go?
I was like, okay, take a break. Yeah. So I hear you. When you said it was just traumatized as a trigger. Okay. The point she's trying to make is that there are a lot of people, as you're saying, women are not coming correct. There may be some men that are not coming correct. I hear you. But I think for those of us who want the same things or say we want the same things, Uncle Stu, I have a question for you, and I'm nervous, y'all, when I go on Uncle Stu's show. I'm gonna be ready with the facts and the figures.
Let me, Suzette. You know I love TLA, but you ain't gonna get a TLA. Ain't nobody gonna be attacking you on T. Ain't nobody gonna get you. We gonna talk. I'm gonna be honest, so that everybody knows.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about Suzette.
Okay. Well, praise God. I can talk to you
how you was born. We're gonna talk about your family.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about what you've been through, and you're telling your story just on a different platform. You're telling your story, and as far as,
and I just want that opportunity, and I love those type of opportunities. So let me ask you this:
and when it goes to topical, because I know you have such a deep embedded love for Jesus Christ, him crucified, raised on the third day.
Don't start, Uncle Stu. Yes. Yes. Hallelujah.
I want to know how, so that you already prepared.
Amen.
How do you deal with being Christian and being a lawyer and balancing holiness with some unholy things and defending unholy people? How do you wrestle with that? See, I told you, Uncle Stu don't have books just to Uncle Stu really reads.
I'm gonna bring Learn Biz the podcast for backup. She is my fellow lady lawyer. We both come up.
Make sure you on there too, because here's the thing. Here's where you need to have the safety net for y'all profession. This is where it's balanced. There are professions where marriages really don't work. Okay, law, medicine. I'm a veteran, United States Army. Those marriages don't work.
If two of those are married together.
But if they don't, because think about it.
I wouldn't date a lawyer, honestly.
It requires you almost not to be at home.
No, what I know now, no, sir. Yeah. You can't have two of us in the house.
But see, and that's the whole thing, And if you don't know what you're getting into, you don't know until it's too late. So a lot of these divorces really is just because of career choices that people has made and never realized what it took to be married to a lawyer.
Or becoming a lawyer.
Yeah. I told you, y'all talking to a grown man. That's why.
No, Uncle, so you see the dilemma. You see it. If they told me what I know now, having practiced law, how much more I realized my white counterparts in law school, several of them left after year one because they only got into law school to find a man. I was shocked. We thought something was wrong with them. We were like, they left. You too, Learn Biz. I saw several of my white homegirls was like, yo. They was finding somebody in the med school quick, start cooking for him, cleaning for him. I was like, what is going on right now? And they took someone's seat in a law school class for that purpose. And we didn't see them. At least 3 women, I could tell you off the top of my head, literally got into law school with the plan. You talk about Michonne Denyse with a plan on where to find a man. I said, they didn't even want to be no lawyer. They didn't want no law degree. They came to be on campus and go check out the med school and check out the engineering school. And find a man quick and left law school. And now it was like a whole different narrative because we thought they were crazy. We were like, at the time, we're like, they're crazy. Who does that? People who are taught the game and people who understand the value of family and what it means to start one. And when is the most opportune time to start one? I can't blame parents. I'm not trying to blame parents. I'm trying to take responsibility for what I know right now and do something with it. But I see the gap of information when it comes to, as I say, we as Black women are more educated than ever. Talk about Black men with degrees. We got more degrees than everybody in the United States.
But guess what?
We're going to be life dumb if nobody says to you, hello, somebody, but don't you want a family? Or isn't that important to you too? Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, what? And then you look up and them wonderful pickings that you had turn into slim pickings. And you crying and you figuring out how this going to go now, Lord? Because I think I have a calling to be mom or wife or this. But then you looking around and it's become way harder to select or be selectable, right? So it's they're not giving us the full story. And I'm not going to blame feminism, even though I've seen it in many of the discussions of the manosphere and beyond. That, y'all got tricked because the white women still get married. Y'all got tricked. Y'all followed them into the academy, got 2 and 3. They only got 1. You got 2 and 3 and 4 degrees. And now you still looked up, looked upon as like, I don't know. Like Black men may not want that because they think there's a whole personality and a whole thing that comes with you. And I'm feeling like I'm fighting against that. I'm like, no, I'm just a regular person too. But again, you have put a priority. I guess that's what they're saying that they see. But you ain't never put no priority on no man. You see how Michonne always had a boyfriend? That was not me. That was like, class, leave me alone, class. Like, let's go. I snuck with a couple, but it wasn't no regular. It wasn't no regular thing. It was very like straight laced and just do, school. I just feel like there's a huge disservice still being done, particularly to Black women, not speaking up and saying, wait, consider what you're leaving on the table when you prioritize here, there, and elsewhere. And even if you don't think you're making an active decision not to have a family, you are. You are.
Think about it,
you have.
Yeah.
And you playing catch up on the other end of it. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Anybody
No,
want to
that's perfect language, because think of it like this, and this is what I try to bring to the table in the sense of history, and this is why I try to look for women such as the lady you have on to collab with me, because you need to hear the history. There is a history. If I took Black feminism off the table, who was leading the voice of Black women? Oprah Winfrey. Is she married?
Well, she got Stedman though. No. Sorry.
But in all reality, let's take that into a factor.
Yeah.
She purposely said, I don't want to get married to Stedman because I don't want to be a traditional wife. Quote unquote, Stedman was supposed to be a tradition. So here she's already put her what? Her business, her career. Why she couldn't have all those things and still been a wife?
Right.
So what does she teach by her leading example? Ladies, you don't need a man. You could become this billionaire without a man. You could be financially successful. What did her best friend do? Then her best friend get divorced to do what Oprah did?
Mm-hmm. It's a lot. It's a lot. There, Uncle Stu. It's a lot. And you got to be careful because Oprah is like the gold standard, right? So there's so much about her I admire.
But and I do too. But the information from her has already been put out there after all these years that she's been on TV, or she was on TV, putting it all for what, 20 years or so. It's been a while since she's been on, but she was on during that core time, even the 90s.
Yes. The sacrifice was being made. My goodness.
Right.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
And there's
and again, I always say, I've been saying I gotta do this, so I gotta do this. Do you remember the Million Man March?
Absolutely.
I do.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Million Woman March?
Did we have a million women?
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
All right, I want everybody to go research it. Million Man March, 1995. Million Women March, 1997. Look at the demands of the Black man. Look at what the demands of the Black woman were.
Hold up. People went to D.C. and marched?
Yeah. Black women march for themselves and for their own person. Black men march for the whole community.
This is the breakdown and divide here is a deep one. And when it comes to the what is the philosophical betterment of the whole, like where are we both as far as what we're being taught and who is our role models? What are we teaching as far as what is the best way forward for us as a community? And I think until we kind of get on the same page, not everybody is on different pages, but I hear the point which you're making, Uncle Stu, that you talking about just breathe. I see you. No, I'm processing. I'm like, oh, wait, let me get back to what's going on. I see you, Learn Biz Podcast. Okay, you want me to bring you back on? I just want to make sure you're good. Yeah. So, it's there is, you've opened up a deeper can of worms with that, Uncle Stu, when it comes to Black feminism, or what's being called Black feminism. And I'm not going to give a definition here because
right.
I've not, done the scholarly work.
It's all right. I have
unpack what Black feminism preaches.
Powerful books written by a woman that just passed away in December. So I'm going through it so that, because it's so hard to teach a book and try to put it in video form, at least for me. But
no, I think that'd be good, because I think what people think of as Black feminism oftentimes was feminism created by white women. And I don't know, we have the racial and ethnic overlay. But I don't know. I'm for the Black family. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I'm a feminist or not, but I'm for the Black family.
No, because one of the most powerful Black women in the forefront of Black feminism was Bell Hooks.
The lady who on
She just passed
Jesus.
away in
Yes,
December.
I'm sorry. It slips
Yeah,
me what she's written. Sorry, it slips my
yeah.
mind what she just wrote. But yeah,
And
okay, that's what
she
you're talking
wrote
about.
she
Okay.
wrote one called Black Love. It's supposed to be a love book, but when you get into the thesis of the love book, the thesis says we got to first destroy patriarchy in black men because it's dangerous, and then she goes into this narrative that that's why black men is dangerous, they're violent, they're this, they're that. So can you imagine
Wow.
you're sending your daughter, because I tell this story all the time. Before my youngest daughter went to college, she wanted to go to a HBCU. I don't want the chat to blow me up for the HBCU, but she wanted to go to a particular HBCU. I refused for her to go to that particular HBCU. So I said, well, okay, I'll compromise. I'll let you go to Bennett College, which is HBCU, all
Atlanta.
women college. I'm a single father at the time. You know how they tell you to go on campus and all this other stuff. So I'm on campus and I'm the parent. So I'm with the rest of the parents. My daughter goes off, does the whole tour and this and that and the whole 9 yards. I'm ready to sign the papers. My daughter came out and said, I don't want to go to that college. I said, well, why? It's a woman, it's all black. She said, the way those women was talking, that's not you, daddy.
Mm,
I would never understand the power of what she said until I got to YouTube.
There's all schools of thought now. There's all school, and again, I have not studied bell hooks. I'm not saying I advocate for that if that's what it's saying. Um, wow,
Tell my boy,
it's very deep. I
yeah,
see you, Aggie Pride.
tell Aggie Pride for life. I got you, bruh. My God, that same daughter I'm telling about is Aggie Pride, but you're gonna ready to be mad at me. My sister graduated from Central, so I got to represent.
So you guys
And
like
when I was
there's
in the education field, it was all these Ram Prize, but my HBCU right now is Hampton U. So I got to represent the HU.
well, I thought they said the real HU was Howard, but I didn't know what it said. All right, I went to a PWI. It's all good. I do just had to throw that in there because I love the rivalry. Y'all hit the like button. If y'all enjoying this type of content, this type of conversation getting deep, please hit the like button. Please, please, please support. Share if you can. Uncle Stu, I love the fact that you were scratching the surface of whether feminism, depending on how you describe it, Black feminism, modern day feminism, whatever you're describing. And again, we always have to describe terms to know, what we agree with and what we don't. But just as a whole, I think that is a very deep conversation that needs to be had in terms of the influence of modern day feminism in relationships and selection and timing and all the ways that we've been discussing in terms of the mentality that has kind of come down through, as I would say, at least the past 2, if not 3 generations of women. The idea that, marriage is not a priority, or that there's so much more that you can do. And again, this goes into like your individualism and capitalist, desire for, self-improvement. It can really be, which I say, I think it should be really examined so that at least we're not just accepting it. There's a consciousness about, whoa, where did you get this thought from? Where did you get this belief from? And how do we counter it, or at least address it on a mass scale? Because I think people have, I asked a guy I recently met about his sister, and he was like, yeah, my sister was taught to be independent too. My so-and-so was being independent. I told him, I'm a little triggered by the word independent because I don't feel like I chose that. I feel like it was almost given me in a sense. I don't know, that can be a different conversation, but when he was talking about it, I was like, that would mean, most women, I would say probably over 30, were given this formula of what success looked like and promoted in terms of, again, independence, self-sufficiency, did not see necessarily a man in the picture in order for the formula to be complete. So I agree with you. The origins of it are important, Uncle Stu. We have to study where it came from in order to address it. And we have to be able to, I don't know, offer something else in its place. Because I think there is no other voice. And God, I don't know, you're not dealing with me on this to be any other voice. But we need voices. Because this is strange for a lot of women. This is going to be the hardest wake-up call you will ever get For me personally, it has been one where I had to really look at my life and say, what means a lot to me? What really, at the end of the day, when we go to that grave, what really is going to bring me the joy, the happiness, the fulfillment? And most are not going to say career at the end of the day. Most believe, if they're raised, in a pretty healthy family structure, it will be family and relationships. So I don't know, Uncle Stu. You're gonna have to school me on some bell hooks. I'm not
All
well
right, I got you. Listen,
in terms of the modern African American feminist thought. I'm not really well versed.
I'm definitely putting that together because I studied that for a year. So yeah, I'll definitely put it all together for you. I gotta go.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
gotta
say
get
support
on
the Black
live in
family.
the
Thank you,
next
Uncle Stu.
15
Y'all see, let me
minutes.
give you a little solo shout out, Uncle Stu. I see you getting called to the side, but I'll be on his show. Y'all see him, follow him. Thank you for your insights, Uncle Stu. You were fantastic.
Thank you.
I'll see you on
Thank
the
you.
25th, and I can't wait.
Yes, we're gonna have a great time.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you coming up. Bye. See you.
All right, bye, y'all.
Uncle
And I have
Stu.
subscribed to all of y'all channels, so and
Thank
I'll
you.
be
Thank you
reaching
so
out to
much.
all of y'all.
you.
Show up and support Suzette on the 25th.
Yay,
Get that
I will be
girl
there.
code on. Just the difference is the girl code, all right? Y'all go support her.
Listen, I'm nervous already, but I'll be over there, so I'll do the best I can. I'll do the best.
All right, you got it.
Thanks, Uncle Stu. See
All
you
right,
soon.
bye, y'all.
Appreciate you. Lots of love, my brother. Oh my God, Uncle Stu gonna have me on a hot seat, y'all. I'm gonna be like, I don't know, Uncle Stu. I don't know what you mean. I'm gonna be like, okay, I don't know about that answer. Can someone please help me? What hell? Okay, Doug, you talking about Hampton is the real issue? Okay, we're gonna see. I see you, Queen Regina, say again, I was given my drive for indolence after seeing the dependence of my mother to her husband. So I think again, some of those origins, some women did not have good husbands back in the day. Newsflash. So they wanted independent girl. They wanted a girl that could choose. Either I choose you or not. When it wasn't. I see your comments throughout, Queen Regina, about some of the challenges and issues within your household, even though your mom stayed married, and you're saying it because of dependence and financial dependence. So there's a lot of there. There's not one size fits all when it comes to why we think, hey, Howard, hey, Chef, why we think certain ways. But I just want us to start to think in ways that serve us. That's all I want. I want us to now be awakened to the fact that if you just think your career, you are making a decision. You didn't know you was, but you have to now realize this is making a decision for you. Whether you're making one actively or passively, it's being made. So I think we're gonna hopefully do the next generation of women a service in terms of, hello, wait a minute, let's talk about it. And then those of us who have like awakened recently in the last few years can too benefit from some of this discussion, like ones we're having today, when it's like, why do you think the way you do? Again, Uncle Stu bringing up feminism, all this and all that is deeper than what I was prepared to talk about. However, examples like Miss Shawn can help us to really see there's so much benefit, especially doing it younger. My light keep popping off. Hey. And what we want to do as a result, because like I said, it's when you start at that almost nothing baseline together, it's easier to grow together. Mm-hmm. When you start having things and he start having things, there's this sense of, I don't want to compete with a man, but I hear a lot of men talk about, oh, there's competition. Then I'm not trying to compete with you. I don't know what other people say to y'all, but it's a very, it's sensitive. It's touchy. Yeah. It changes the roles. It changes the dynamics. People are nervous. You got a law degree. Oh my gosh. What would you want with me? There's also insecurity around that, right? Or I can't provide the way she would want me to provide, but actually you probably could. So there's so many pieces of this puzzle when it comes to who we're choosing, if we're choosing, and that we are choosing successfully, selecting and being selectable. All right, I'm gonna give you ladies one more word. I guess we'll do a round robin. The back is closed. It's dinner time, y'all. My stomach's starting to growl. Listen, the chef says if Beyonce can do it, so can many other women out there. Independence to married. Oh, listen, Beyonce had y'all talking about single ladies and flashing, but she got her man though. She got her man. Y'all was singing along, but she got hers. Even Adele, some of these big singers, they don't leave a man. Kelly Rowland and them, Michelle, for whatever issues they got, challenges. Some people got challenges, but it's all good. It's not a matter that you're going to get perfect, but they're trying to select that partnership. They're trying to say, guys, we got to do something. It's better to try to do it together. I don't know. I'm late to the party, but I'm excited about being at the party. But yay! So I'll give you guys a final. Let's start with you, Learn Biz Podcast. If you have any final thoughts, and y'all, let me take this off. How do I take this off? New comments. Yeah, very thought provoking. Thank you, Mr. Real Estate, member of the Patreon. Did y'all know I had a Patreon? I'm gonna get them the final word, but I'm gonna always plug my Patreon. Y'all know it's very good and thoughtful, just like what we're having here. So if you enjoy these type of discussions in a private, exclusive, off a YouTube way, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. This is what we're about: life and learning together and changing our own narrative. Speaking of which, Saturday 12 noon, my speaker will be stories that have you stuck. Does your story have you stuck? All right, so we're doing it again. It's the new year, new me, whatever. But we're going to try to keep it the same energy throughout 2022. But Stories That Have You Stuck is on Saturday, 12 noon is my next live stream. So be here with Miss Angela Durant. So we're doing the work, guys. We're doing the work to uplift, enlighten, and encourage, and hopefully change that narrative that's inside of y'all. So come on over to Patreon. Y'all know the Cash App is up there. All right, my love. Let's start with Learn Biz, the podcast. Yay. Any final thoughts from you?
I would say, as a final thought, I think these discussions are really, really important. And for those of us who are single, we really do need to look to our married counterparts to get more feedback and start to understand and really start to study ourselves. And I will also say, as a young professional, we really have to learn to do the balance. And it's not to say that we can't have our career and have the things that are going on, but we have to see it all in perspective. And I know for me, it's been a deep dive, really breaking down some things, changing the way my practice is, and really focusing on myself, my family, and my relationships. So I think men and women just really need to start listening more to each other and having these conversations, and it's going to make a world of difference for the next generation.
Absolutely, could not agree more, my sister. I'm so glad you're in this space. We will talk offline. I was like, is that her? Like, yes, it's her. I had to take a double look, but I'm grateful. Another sister-in-law, also doing some recalibrating and understanding what's important. That's what it's about. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to even do that and share as we're doing it. So I appreciate you. Thanks for coming up. And I
Thank you
hope to
so
see you
much.
up anytime. Hope to see you up again. And y'all go follow her. You see it. Learn Biz the podcast. Thank you so much. Fantastic to see you, my
Thank
darling. See you
you.
soon. All right. And
Bye.
then there was one. Okay. I am Michonne Denyse, the guest of the hour. You guys, you see her name there. Please go over, support her. Thanks for sharing your story. It wasn't what I expected at all. It was very good and very, like, just unique. And young marriage. I'm grateful for you opening up yourself and just sharing some of the experiences you've had. And I'm grateful for those lessons that I can glean from it. What say you when it comes to people thinking about marriage? Should we still be getting married? Was it what it was cracked up to be? And any other final thoughts? What do you want to end with as far as advice?
Well, I first want to thank you for having me do this. For one, to be able to share the story. Two, to be able to get in front of the camera. And three, I think it was a good discussion. I think what you're doing is a great series. So I am all in. I'll try to be at everything that I possibly can to support. I would say that there's a lot of messages going around, and I'm just going to say on YouTube, it's everywhere, but definitely on YouTube. And for the young ladies, which is the reason that I'm here, if you want to bounce something off of someone or get a married woman's perspective, that's honestly what I would like to be here for. So I just would, throw that out there and just say that it is possible. I am not going to act like everything is wonderful and all good in the hood. It is not, it hasn't been, but it's a matter of priorities. It's a matter of finding the right person, finding your, maybe not your person, like they say on Grey's Anatomy, but it has to make sense. I don't know that we sometimes use common sense. If something doesn't look like it's right, then we probably should leave it be. So if you need someone to take a look at something like that, or run questions against that, you should go to your married friends if you're married or you want to be married. That would be my final 2 cents. I'm sorry if that may upset.
No, you were fantastic, my darling. It says Doug. Thank you for the super chat. Doug,
thank you,
Patreon
Doug.
member, says Michonne, You did a great job today. I 100% agree. What a great conversation. Uncle Stu done turned up the fire. We got a little extra from the Biz podcast. I see some more comments I'll just read quickly. It's time to go, y'all. I have her way over time. Queen Regina says, some academically successful women have never said they can't do it. Some men assume it's out of their scope to date them if she makes more than he does. That's a very astute comment, girl. I wish I had time to pick that apart. We might need a whole separate show on that. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Queen Regina. Good observation, because I have some friends, their marriages are where the woman makes more, and they're happy. It works for them. A lot of judgment is in society about this, but they're happy, right? Dude is happy with taking on some of the childcare, and they're the chief marketing officer at some big company down here. I can tell you some stories, but this often can be intimidating, especially if a man does not want to play that secondary income role. Mm-hmm. But this is a very good observation. I see you, the EBH Black Show with Powerball Rish. Isn't it more gratifying to build something with someone than building independently? I think some of us have not been taught that, or have not been reminded of that. When it comes to relationship, I think sometimes we think, oh, groups, yay, we'll help this organization, we'll help this community-based this, we'll help that. How about help your own self? Help me, exactly. God. And find out how gratifying it can be with the right person, as you just said, Ms. Mashawn Denyse. Let me see any other final comments. Get them up here, guys. We're closing out. Thank you, to Shelf. Welcome to the panel. Thanks for sharing. Aaron, wash hands, wash it. Great live. Thank you, Simon Hectic, my brother from across the pond, UK, in the building. Thank you. Queen Regina says thank you. And for the panel, thank you. We appreciate you being here. Jessica says, Mashawn, I really enjoyed the show today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. With the cash app, thank you. Or with the super chat, I should say. She was on the panel. Y'all saw her. Please follow her. Another sponsor of today's. I think we got a 5-way tie for sponsor of today's live. Thank you for coming up, sis. I'm grateful, and I'm proud. I'm glad that you have started making contact. So I got to go check you out. Learn Biz, the podcast. Learn Biz, the podcast. Y'all see it on the stream. Thank you for being a part of the conversation and making it great. Appreciate you being here, my sister-in-law. I see you. Thank you very much, Sunbreeze, for being here. to Chef, thank you very much. RM, hardest working woman, I thank you so much. Fantastic moderator. I appreciate you so very much. She has been spamming y'all. Go follow Mashawn Denyse. Go follow some of our other guests, Uncle Stu. Go follow this one right here, Learn Biz, the podcast. We support one another here. Appreciate you, Doug. I appreciate you so much. I'll end with you. You guys are fantastic. Again, we have our next live coming up on Saturday at around 12 noon. Again, stories that have you stuck. Does your story have you stuck? And if you're a member of the Patreon, final call, Patreon member. If you're not sure if you should be, I think you should be. Let me just tell you right now, because it's for you. Thank you for your support of me, but it's also for you. Sometimes we have to have safe spaces where we could just talk and get stuff off our chest. We're going to be discussing after my 12 o'clock live. So around 2:30 or so on Saturday will be our Patreon meetup. And we'll be over there discussing how to reconnect post-pandemic. A lot of us are still operating in a spirit of isolation. Some of us need to get on the phone, get the going when it comes to reconnecting with people who we have kind of I don't know, ignored, put to sleep. I don't know. I'm no judgment, but we're going to talk about breaking that, because I know I'm struggling with that too. For 2022, I want to do better. So please, we have these discussions every couple of weeks. I have special content that goes up over there as well, unique and exclusive, only on Patreon, not on YouTube. So if you want more of this type of deep dive discussion, you see it on your screen. Patreon.com/SuzetteSpeaks for you to come enjoy and hang out. And I've hopefully made it accessible in cost. So I thank you guys so much for supporting all my Patreon members. Big up yourself. On Saturday, I'll do a big shout out to all my Patreon members, because I do that once a month to let them know how much I appreciate them. So thank you. If you're a member, you know I love you. You see the sponsors on the bottom. Thank you to everyone who donated. And thank you most of all to this lady who put herself out there. Y'all see her name for the final time. RM, drop her channel, please. Special guest, Miss Michonne Denyse, also starting on that YouTube journey, doing a lot of reaction videos and putting her womanly wisdom on top of them. It's good stuff, y'all. So support her. Go over to her channel now. And y'all know what to do. Subscribe, hit the like button, support, because we need it. We building up in this space different type of voices. All right, get on board, says Sunbreeze, with the Patreon. You ride, and thank you, Sunbreeze, for coming over and being a Patreon member. You are not a hermit, Doug. We're going to talk about that on Saturday. Do not worry. And yeah, I'm just grateful for all of y'all. See y'all on Saturday. Thank you. Great show. They're saying, okay, I gotta, I do long goodbyes, but I love y'all so much. Thank you for your support and for being here as a part of my community. All right, see you Saturday. Bye. And thank you, and me. Don't go. Just let me talk to you real quick. All right, bye. She's like, I'm out. All right, see you. Love on you. See you on Saturday. Here's the Patreon one more again. Thank you for dropping it, RM. Thank you, RM. Thank you for my moderators. Appreciate y'all, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Take care.